Welcome to Dolly Talk. How is everybody doing today? We have part two of the Craig Endreson Arizona trial. Craig and our boy Mr. Rogers got into a little hijinks and got arrested. Mr. Rogers and Craig were looking to get some strange, as one does. And they got the cops on them. Cops found some meth, and right now Craig is on trial. So we are going to start with the cross examination of the lead detective. Um, let's see. First, hey Maddie, how are you? Yes. Hey Johnny. Donald is here. F. Irish, how are you? Sorry about this morning. I know I cut you guys off, but I had to get my dad to the doctor, but it's all good. So let's see. Okay, so it'll go back in a second to the main screen. They're not great with the camera switching the cameras, but
That was it.
Did you say 18?
A female.
Oh, a female. Well, what'd she look like?
Initial profile picture, maroon burgundy hair, younger.
She have all teeth,
I don't think she's smiling in her photo, to be honest with you.
both of her eyes.
She has both of her eyes.
I want to now talk a little bit about what you had discussed with Mr. Rogers. I think your testimony was the first thing you texted him was, "Do you have?" question mark.
Yes,
You prepared a report in this case, didn't you?
yes.
Isn't it true that what you texted him, the very first thing you texted him was, "Do you have a boat?"
I'd have to look at the report, sir. I don't remember if it was first or not, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I know that was a question, do you have?
Okay, so you don't remember if the first thing you texted him was, "Do you have blank?" or "Do you have a boat?"
Yes, I'd have to refer to the report or the screenshots of the text messages. There's 200 plus, if I'm not mistaken.
he has a boating
Where's the boat?
accident.
Boat is approximately, well, say approximately, it is 8,000 blue M30 pills, fentanyl pills.
It's slang for
is.
M30s, the blue pills you were just testifying to in the picture.
Yes.
I want to jump back to the Facebook profile. Why
you
did you pick
crazy.
a female?
There was no rules, sir. It was my choice. I could have been a male. I could have been a female.
And then, as I understood the testimony, you had come across the name Christopher Rogers in your capacity as a tribal officer at the casinos,
Tribal gaming inspector, not a certified law enforcement officer.
gaming inspector.
Yes.
And what did you come to discover about Mr. Rogers that piqued your interest and made you reach out in his direction?
There was multiple names that were always brought up. Christopher Rogers was one of them that was brought up as far as the Yavapai Casino, which is the smaller casino at the bottom of the hill in Prescott. I would say, I don't want to say it's where the worst people went. That was where more of your, I'd say, degenerate gamblers, gambling addicts generally stayed down at that casino.
So
Buc-ee's was
worse
a younger
people.
crowd,
Wow.
more of a drunk crowd, and more of your drug users were down at the smaller ones, more of a dive bar setting,
Did you come to discover that he was a drug dealer?
just through word of mouth. Sure, potentially.
Way to shit all over that
And-
casino.
In addition to asking Miss who you thought was Mr. Rogers on the other end of Facebook, do you have a boat? Did you discuss some fentanyl powder?
I don't recall fentanyl powder specifically. I can't speak on what he said, so
I understand that. I'm just asking what you recall.
I don't know how to answer that without stating what he referenced to me.
Why are you being so evasive?
And I'm taking these things in order of really how you testified with Mr. Alcorn. You said at the outset of your testimony, when you came into contact with Mr. Endreson, that he had told you this
Thank you, Ken.
vehicle that he was driving was a vehicle of a friend.
Yes,
And in fact, what he told you was that he had just bought the vehicle a couple of weeks ago. Isn't that right?
approximately 2 weeks, I believe.
Okay. And he bought it from someone named Gonzalez.
Yes,
And you had no reason to disbelieve that, did you?
His nickname was
In fact,
Speedy.
he showed you in the course of the videos that we saw, he showed you the registration or the insurance on that vehicle, didn't he, on his phone?
he showed me an insurance card.
But you testified as well, I thought, that you never asked him for the insurance card. Is that right?
I did not.
So in the course of pulling him over, your former job, as I understood your testimony, was you would do traffic stops. You pull someone over. You never asked this man to show you his insurance card, that there was insurance on the vehicle?
I don't recall what exactly was said. I didn't get to watch those. I haven't watched the clips in almost 4 years, just these segments of it.
Right.
Exactly what was asked of him.
And in fairness, the segments that are there are chopped up. We can't see the interaction of what's going on in the minute that has elapsed between the videos as they're displayed. Is that a fair statement?
Yes,
And I think you testified, and correct me if I'm wrong, 'cause I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, that you looked at your video, at your body cam at some point. Is that right?
yes,
And you don't recall at the outset, Mr. Endreson telling you he was having difficulty finding the insurance for the vehicle on his phone?
I don't recall the insurance. I remember asking for the registration. I believe that's the first clip, actually.
And then I think you next testified about, I think you said micro expressions or something along those lines.
Yes,
You mentioned 9 something. What was it? 9 what?
quadrants.
9 quadrants in the States. Whoa. Let's talk about that.
Hey, Dreamer.
And one of these quadrants I think you talked about was Mr. Endreson perhaps trying to distance himself from you.
Yes, that wasn't in reference to micro expressions. That's a totally different behavior.
Well, talk to me again. Tell me what these micro expressions are that you observed with Mr. Endreson.
So without formal training on it, other than it being mentioned of something we could look for, the face of contempt was one that was always brought up because we generally will see it with people that are involved in some type of criminal activity.
Whoa,
Speaking
let me
of
stop you.
micro.
What's a face of contempt?
There's no way for me to show. I can show you guys if that's okay. Like pursed lips, sucking one side of your cheek to one side of the other.
Face the jury's giving you
gritting
right
teeth,
now.
kind of trying to. I don't know how to explain it other than what I see.
All right, continue. I asked you what the micro expressions are.
Whatever I
You said a
say
face
it
of
is,
contempt. Continue.
That was the only one I looked for, sir. It's the face of contempt.
All right. And this is after
Only
you had
one?
already pulled him over with the lights flashing.
Correct.
So on and so forth. And as I understood the sequence of events, Mr. Endreson had already been at the casino. Is that right?
Yes.
And your testimony is you observed him leave with Mr. Rogers and come into Payson.
Yes.
And prior to that, you and another officer had gone to Mr. Endreson's car with a flashlight and looked around in there to see if you could see anything in plain view for purposes of what?
Correct. Without violating the threshold of the car, just to specify that we didn't violate the threshold of the windows. You made it sound like I had gone into the car, which I did not.
No, sir, I'm not suggesting that at all. What I'm suggesting to you is that you had gone up to the vehicle with a flashlight, looked in it to see if there was anything in plain view. I think that's what you said.
Yes.
What was the purpose of that?
Due to prior knowledge of things discussed and what I had discussed with the other subject, I wanted to see if there was anything in plain view.
And you didn't see anything in plain view, did you?
I did not.
And you observed basically a broken windshield.
Yes.
And that was the basis for your actual stopping of this vehicle. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, prior to you going up to that vehicle, approximately how long had the vehicle been in that parking lot, if you know?
I do not know.
So Mr. Endreson wasn't in the vehicle, right?
At which point?
When you went up with your flashlight.
No, there was nobody in the car at that point.
And presumably he was in the casino.
He was inside the casino.
All right. And do you know how long he was in that casino prior to him coming and getting into that car?
I do not.
And how long did it take you basically to, I guess, when you observed the vehicle with your flashlight and you didn't see anything, get back in your car and then reposition yourself? How much time had elapsed to there?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Maybe 10 minutes?
I don't know.
And you don't have any idea how long Mr. Endreson was in that casino, right?
I do not.
Do you have any idea what he was doing in that casino?
I do not. Other than, no, I don't. I don't.
Possible he was in there drinking?
Possible.
Is it possible that in your interaction with him as a former, I think one of your testimony was that you formerly had some DUI training or you did DUI stops, is that right?
Yes.
Is it possible that in your interaction with him, when he's trying to distance himself from you, that maybe he's not wanting you to smell alcohol on him?
It's possible.
Or maybe you have
But
BO.
that's not something that you considered, right?
I don't recall smelling any alcohol or intoxicating beverage on him.
I don't want to get away from this office.
Now, I want to talk about the video where Mr. Endreson, well, strike that. You watched all of those clips, right?
Yes.
He told you on no less than 3 occasions that he was there to meet up with a woman,
Yeah.
another woman, right? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Hey, Louise.
And he told you that he and Mr. Rogers had come from Phoenix over the mountain and then to the casino.
Yes.
And you didn't believe that.
I did not.
You believed that they came in separate vehicles.
Yes.
Prepared a report. In your report, you stated that it's possible they could have come in one car. You just didn't think that was the case, right?
I'd have to look at my report, sir.
Do you have any reason to disagree with me?
Say no for right now. No.
The second vehicle it's Exhibit 11, the video where the jury was shown Mr. Endreson talking about this gold BMW. When you're talking to him, you had already told him that Roger said that he had come in a gold BMW, right?
I don't remember exactly what portion of my body cam that clip is based off the exhibit number. I wouldn't have disclosed much yet, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't want to divulge everything I was doing on the back end of things until I needed to. I wouldn't want to burn my account.
It suffices to say you never found a second vehicle, isn't that right?
Correct.
How long did you look?
I did not look. Officer Flynn looked.
With Mr. Andreessen, right?
Correct.
Which
Because
one?
you-
That this cop.
Is it
took the
true that you
pictures
told
now?
him that if he helped you find this vehicle, you would let him go?
I don't recall the absolute of I will let you go. I don't speak.
You made him some sort of promise that if you went out and helped look for this gold BMW that did or didn't exist, he was going to get some form of benefit out of this, right?
I don't recall what I said, sir.
Sexual.
In the course of your investigation, did you come to learn that Mr. Rogers had a methamphetamine addiction?
Howdy, neighbor.
I don't remember that being said to me. It might have been documented in my report. I don't recall off the top of my head, though.
I don't remember that episode.
Just so we're clear, Mr. Rogers is in the passenger seat of this vehicle, right?
Yes.
And all of the contraband that was found was in this little pink, with the exception of this pipe, which we'll get to in a minute, was in this pink zipper container that was in the back seat behind Mr. Rogers, right?
Correct.
Waiting for them to.
And I think Mr. Andreessen said at some point when Mr. Rogers got in his car, the only thing he remembered was him opening the back door. And that's all he could remember. Do you remember that on the video?
Yes.
And then there
Yeah.
was this pipe found in the center console
Yes.
in a glasses case, which you took as a sunglasses case.
Yes.
Now we can see.
There
Before
was an
they just
extensive amount of
didn't have the
video
camera,
shown
right?
where Mr. Endreson is outside of his vehicle, either talking to you or he's being questioned by other officers. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes.
And would you agree with me that there's a substantial period of time where Mr. Rogers is sitting in the passenger's compartment of that vehicle?
Yes.
And he has access right to that center console. Would you agree with me?
With law enforcement supervision, he does.
Are you telling me he was supervised 100% by law enforcement
I believe
at all
Officer Flynn
times?
was with him at that point, sir.
Pardon me?
I believe Officer Flynn was still with him at that point.
Who was watching Rogers while you were writing the warning ticket for Mr. Endreson?
I don't recall. I would assume Officer Flynn at that point. We were together.
If I do it 1 second.
take your time.
And I know I'm bouncing around, but I want to make sure that I cover everything. In your, what I'll call, and I'm not trying to be funny, in your fishing expedition on Facebook, you never had any communications with what you believe to be Mr.
You're kind of being a little
No.
funny.
In fact, you didn't even know he existed. Is that a fair statement?
I did.
You knew he existed at some point at the end when there was some discussion about a ride. Is that a fair statement?
If I can't speak on what the other party said, I can't disclose what was said to me over message.
And until you
Understood.
object.
Prior to fishing for Mr. Rogers, that just came out odd. Did you, I'm sorry. Did you ever do any investigation of Mr. Rogers' criminal background?
No.
And with respect to the cell phone you testified to a couple of times about it being put in factory reset mode, you have no idea what was on there before that, do you?
I do not.
Were there other cell phones confiscated at the scene?
I'd have to look at my evidence list to see if the other party's cell phone was seized. I believe it was.
Did you happen to go through that cell phone?
I don't recall going through it.
You have any idea what was on it?
No.
So you couldn't say that there were any messages between Mr. Endreson and Mr. Rogers?
I can't, not unless I saw a phone dump from Haida, who I believe were the ones that got the phone, if I'm not mistaken.
And if I asked you this, I apologize, except when you were talking about the 30 bills that weren't as blue and so on and so forth. Those are the bills that you had set up to purchase from Mr. Rogers, right?
Yes, but that is not a vote. By
Yeah, no, I understand that. You said a vote's like 1,000,
Yes,
right? Understood. But they are the type of pill
correct.
you had set up to purchase. Mr. Rogers.
Yes,
And you said that Mr. Endreson consented for you to search his vehicle. right?
yes.
Yeah, we're on cross right now, Louise.
Before I let you go, I just want to jump back to these micro expressions. right? Other than the pursed lip that you said that my client had, what else did you observe?
Just reference his facial expression, raised eyebrows, a look of shock with basic questions that to me are not shocking questions.
How long did that interaction last?
I don't recall the time frame. It was, I'd have to see the body cam, the timestamps.
Well, by my count, it was at least 50 minutes.
50?
It's 50.
Okay.
Would you agree with me?
I don't know. I don't want to because I don't know for sure.
Well, the jury can see from that. Well, let me ask you, are the timestamps on those videos accurate?
The timestamps are, I don't know if you're speaking of, when are you from start to finish? What point in the contact are you referencing?
What I'm asking you is, you indicated at the outset in response to Mr. Alcorn's question that your body cam reflects your last name, it reflects your badge number, and then it has a time at the bottom. Okay.
It's my first name, but yes.
I'm sorry?
It's my first name that's referenced on the body
Yes,
cam.
I'm
Not my
first
last
name, and then your badge number, and then there's a running tally at the bottom of the time.
Yes.
To your knowledge, is that time accurate?
Yes.
So if it references 8 or 20, 57, 13, that would be 8:57 p.m. and 13 seconds, right?
Yes.
Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. I want to leave you alone, but I
You don't have to.
I feel like there's something else on here that I need to cover with you.
Oh, look at them. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Mr. McCarty, you may want to push the microphone on the table.
Oh, don't. Oh,
Understood.
I have never seen a judge tell a lawyer to turn the mic off when he talks to his client.
Judge. Thank you.
Counsel, can you approach for just a moment?
Yes, Judge.
I like this judge a lot, actually.
But I'm going to, after I excuse you, I'm going to take a few minutes when the attorneys are going to work a little longer. If you could be back, have another, is that correct? Okay, so asking you if you have any questions for the witness. This is your first opportunity to do that. If you do, please make sure they're written on the papers in your notebook and you'll pass those over to Mark. Please remember the admonition I've given you, don't discuss the 5. Counsel, if you could please remain.
Okay, so we don't have jury question. We will.
Jurors, a couple of housekeeping matters. There was, let me just see here. There was an objection regarding what the detective would generically look for on phones. We had a quick sidebar. I upheld that objection. I did indicate that if Mr. Alcorn wanted to inquire as to what he would have looked for in this case, that would be allowable. Mr. Alcorn, anything else you want to put on the record about that objection?
No,
Mr. McCarty?
no, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. I'll also note for the record, and I want to make sure this is clear, Mr. McCarty had made a pretrial motion to exclude statements. I don't know how videos go up to the Court of Appeals or if they do. The courts, as the court reviewed exhibits 1 through 17, one of the things that the court indicated was that the interaction was not substantially different than a roadside interaction. In viewing 1 through 17, the court noted that the defendant was not handcuffed in any of those video clips and that he was actually holding his personal cell phone during those.
I'm going to skip this.
I need to worry about that.
Exhibit 38 help you refresh your recollection as to the answer of that question?
Yes. Through the radio, if we run.
Of alcohol on any. And was a significant portion of that job spent working inside of a casino?
Yes.
Now, you've also received training and experience as you testified as a law enforcement officer?
Yes.
And that includes, at the very least, academy on DUI cases.
Yes.
The entire
Based on
courtroom is
those things,
horrible.
are you familiar with the smell of an intoxicating beverage?
Yes.
Does that include whether it's on a person or in the passenger compartment of the vehicle?
Yes.
At any point during your investigation, did you smell the odor of alcohol on anybody involved in this case?
I do not recall any intoxicating beverage odor.
And that includes both Mr. Endreson and Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
I want to go over something that we went over during the break, you and I. Do you recall I showed you Exhibit 38, the call for service detail report?
Yes.
What is that?
It's via computer-aided dispatch. It's a log of for the most part, everything that we say to dispatch through the radio. If we run people's license, if we run a license plate, if we say we're doing anything, if we say we're out on a probable cause search, on a consent search, if we request backups, generally speaking, if the dispatcher is good, they'll document that in the call notes. If we advise to Miranda, they'll put that as well. And then they'll close it and they'll show it 98, so to speak, means we're out of service. We're done with that call, and they'll say 98 and then a small note saying what we did to close it out.
Do you remember Mr. McCarty asked you a question about how long Mr. Rogers and Mr. Endreson were in the casino?
Yes.
Okay. So based on your review of, did Exhibit 38 help you refresh your recollection as to the answer of that question?
Yes.
Okay. And so in Exhibit 38, it contains information about when you told dispatch stuff.
Yes.
And so, for example, there's an entry for when.
So I'm going to object, Judge. I think the here document is a hearsay document.
Mr. Alcorn, why don't you finish your question, and then I'll hear the objection. But without a question on there, I can't answer. I can't rule in the objection. So let me rule, sir. Okay, Mr. Alcorn.
I'll withdraw the question.
Okay.
Based on your review of Exhibit 38, approximately how long were the two of them inside the casino?
Approximately.
Objection.
Okay. I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead, sir.
Approximately 17 minutes.
Now, Mr. McCarty asked you a question about whether you told Mr. Endreson you wouldn't arrest him if he showed you where Mr. Rogers' car is. Do you remember that question?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if that would have been something that was documented in your police report?
I don't believe it would have been documented that way, no.
Okay. Have you, over the break, reviewed your police report?
I have not.
Okay. If there was something contained in your police report about that interaction, assuming there is anything, would that help refresh your recollection?
Yes.
If I may, subject to Mr. McCarty's objection, could I direct your attention to Exhibit 26? Does that appear to be a copy of your narrative?
Yes.
And if I could direct your attention to it's the last page of the exhibit, which I believe is page 5.
Okay.
If you could, for me, do the following. Could you read the third paragraph down? It starts with the word officer.
And you're asking him to read to himself.
Read to yourself. Thank you, Judge. And when you're finished with that, if you could look up at me.
Sorry, just confirming which page, the last page?
Yeah, it's page 5 of the exhibit.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I got it. Okay,
Did that help refresh your recollection?
it did.
Now, is there some mention of that in your report?
Yes,
Okay. Does that help refresh your recollection?
it does.
Did you tell Mr. Endreson in some fashion, I guess I'm not really looking for the specific wording, but you told Mr. Endreson in some fashion, he wouldn't be arrested, or in some way things would be lessened if he helped find the car?
Correct.
When you or any Tono Apache police officer seizes a phone, what happens to that phone
Either, are you speaking
Check
of?
for nudes.
in general?
So I'm going to object to the form of the question. I think he can answer as to what he does, but not with respect to any other officer.
I'll withdraw the question, Judge. In your investigations while you worked for Tono Apache Police Department, when you seized a phone, what would you do with it?
First, I would do my best to find the appropriate charging cable for it to keep power to the phone. I would never manipulate it past the initial lock screen to place it in airplane mode so it couldn't be wiped for evidentiary reasons. Right. And at that point, it would get transported to my evidence room and placed in a Faraday bag if possible, or we'd wrap it in aluminum foil, and it would get placed in a plastic Ziploc with department report number, name and badge number, and item number. And at that point, we would go and immediately start drafting a search warrant, or at a later date if the CA requested that of us.
Okay. And so if a search warrant is drafted, do you examine the contents of the phone?
We do after the fact.
Okay.
Because we don't have the ability to dump the phone ourselves.
Okay. So I guess that's what I was getting at is, I guess you don't process the data off the phone.
Correct.
Okay. There's another agency that does that.
Arizona HIDA.
Do you have any training and experience in that at this point?
The reading of the material or phone dumping?
The process of getting the data off the phone.
Just what they've told me, very minimal. Nothing I could go do and replicate myself.
So with regards to this investigation, you didn't examine the contents of these phones,
I did not.
or whatever device or devices were in evidence?
I don't recall going through any phone dump information after the fact.
No further questions, Judge.
Members of the jury, this is your opportunity to submit any questions. Do you have any questions? I see at least one going across. Why don't you hand me that one, Mark, and then if there's more, you can pick those up.
You want us to approach, Judge?
Hold on just a moment.
Settle down, prosecutor.
Good. Okay, counsel, I'll see you at sidebar, please.
Oh, have to get up. This guy is not a prosecutee, I'll say that. Great. And the defendant is TB. Wonderful. Whoa. Come on. Doesn't take all freaking day off, sir. Christ's sake.
Several questions for you. Did you see any indication of impairment on Mr. Endreson?
Yes.
There's been a picture of the pink pouch. Can you tell the jury approximately how big that is?
Am I allowed to show with my hands for them so they can see?
Sure.
I can try to describe it, but
No.
about that big, maybe 4 by 6, 4 by 5, about 1.5 to 2 inches thick, I would say.
Thank you. I believe there was testimony that someone had at some point refused to have the vehicle searched. Who had refused to have the vehicle searched?
That was Mr. Endreson.
Okay. And were you able to determine if Mr. Rogers had a gold BMW registered to him?
It was not. Yeah, I don't think we actually looked into that.
Okay, let me just take a quick look here. Okay, members of the jury, do you have any additional questions? Okay, I see someone nodding their head. I'll give you, do you want to write it? Do you have another question? If you do, you can write it out. Are you out of question forms? Okay, why don't you just put it on one of the question forms for us? I'll ask if you want to be heard at sidebar.
No, Judge.
Mr. McCarty? Okay. Deputy, I have one more question for you, which was, where were you when you first saw Mr. Endreson and Mr. Rogers in the car together?
I was in my patrol vehicle alongside Officer Flynn in his patrol vehicle in the parking lot of the tribal market, which is just next to BI 101 and 87 intersection, the southwest corner.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Alcorn, do you have any follow-up to the juror questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McCarty?
I do.
Okay. Sure.
Mr.
And as long as you're near a microphone, if you want to stay seated at that microphone or lapel, whatever you choose.
It is Mr. Officer Butler, the pink pouch
Yes, sir.
that you testified to. So we're clear, it contained everything except that pipe that was in the center console, right? Everything was in that pink pouch.
Correct.
And just so we're clear, the pictures that were shown in here of both the pink pouch that has scale, and then there was some Ziploc baggies with a substance on a scale. The scale that has the baggies on it, that's not the same scale that's in the pink pouch, right?
Correct.
That's a scale that's back at law enforcement, correct?
Yes, that's an issued scale in our
Okay.
evidence room.
And then you said that Mr. Endreson refused to search, but he eventually consented to the search, right?
He did.
Okay. And then you were asked, did he show signs of impairment?
Yes.
You said yes. But certainly not signs of any form of impairment that would have given you cause to perhaps test him?
Are you speaking of a SFSTs?
Yeah.
Or DUI? It depends. I'm not a DRE, so I can't say for sure.
Well, how about you guys stop using abbreviations in front of the jury?
The, hold on, I lost my train of thought.
Both of you. I have no idea what any of that means. Nobody on the jury knows what that means.
Well, let me get lucky because I forgot that one. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank
you. Okay.
Hi, Christine.
I don't know if this witness is under subpoena. He's your case officer, but may he be excused as far as any subpoena he's under?
Yes.
Mr. McCarty, any objection to that?
I need it for.
Okay. So, sir, you're free to step down today. If you could, I suspect you're going to be here for a good part of the trial. If you do step away, make sure you let Mr. McCarty and Mr. Alcorn know where you'll be so you can be recalled. So thank you. Okay. Okay, and Mr. Alcorn, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Here in just a second, I'm going to call Officer Flynn.
Okay. While we're waiting for Officer Flynn, I'd like to, first thing after lunch, maybe take a stretch break. We all got to get up and walk back, but you haven't. Just briefly between witnesses.
Oh, boy. He's wearing a suit.
It's already there. We'll all sit down and you can go right to the witness chair and then I'll have you sworn before you sit down. Yes. Difficulty picking up your voice, but if you could just make sure that the microphone's in front of you as you speak to us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Alcorn.
Thank you, Judge. Officer, could you tell us, summarize your training and experience for us?
My name is Officer Flynn, Shane Brady Simmons Flynn. I'm a police officer at the Tono Apache Tribe. I'm currently a canine handler. I've been an officer since 2012, going through continuing
killed
and
any dogs.
enhanced training since day one for narcotics, street crimes, highway criminal interdiction, and so forth. I also have a bachelor's degree from the Northern Arizona University in criminal justice, and I have a pretty extensive history with drugs and narcotics and violent offenses.
You said you've been a police officer since 2012?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And has all of that been with the Tono Apache Police Department?
No, sir, it has not.
Okay. Where else?
I began my career with the town of Prescott Valley and then went to the tribe in Camp Verde, and then now I'm currently with the tribe in Payson.
Were you assisting Officer Butler in the investigation involving Mr. Endreson?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay. I want to go over kind of a big picture, and if we need to, we can kind of go back and talk about some of the specific details in particular. Is that all right?
Yes, sir, that is.
Okay. So could you describe for us, I think you and I have been involved in this process before, but this is a bit of a question and answer. So at some point, I may elicit a very long answer, but I'll have to stop you and ask you a question every now and then. So could you tell us about your involvement on August 29th of 2021?
Yes. So myself and my former partner here, we used to work together at the tribe. We did a lot of highway traffic stops, which led to criminal investigations for drugs, weapons, warrants, things of that nature. On this particular night, this was a case that he had primarily been working from a Facebook-based in digital media investigation. He created a Facebook account under a female's persona, and he began talking to a subject, and it began an investigation primarily around narcotics. So on this night, he had gotten the subject to agree to come up to Payson and our casino, and that kind of began the basis for the investigation on this stop. At one point, we saw the vehicle come into the town, and we began our investigation that evening and continued in through the night.
So, what was your first contact? Was there a gold Toyota Highlander involved in this case?
Yes, a gold, older model Toyota SUV.
What was your first involvement with this car?
It's been a little while since we investigated this case. My memory is not, I don't remember the exact details, but it would have been at the beginning of the investigation when it drove into town. And then we would have watched it for a short time. And then eventually it went mobile and we conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle.
Okay. And so you, did you get a look at it in the casino parking lot? Is that what you're saying?
From memory, yes.
Okay. And then eventually the car re-entered the road.
Yes.
Okay. And did you do the traffic stop or who did that?
I was the backup and assisting officer on this case. At the time, Officer Butler was the case agent and officer. So,
Okay. So he conducted the traffic stop?
yes.
All right. And so did you stop to assist?
Yes, I was the backup officer and assisted him with his investigation into the subjects in the vehicle.
So while Officer Butler was doing whatever he was doing on the investigation, what did you do?
I would have watched over the vehicle, made sure that there was nothing dangerous occurring in it, no movements that were outside the norm, and then I would have been with the passenger in the vehicle, small talk with him.
Okay. And do you recall sort of standing next to the passenger side for the most of the investigation?
Yes, I do recall that.
Okay. At one point, did you ask Mr. Rogers to step out of the vehicle?
Yes, at the point where we had requested an outside agency to bring their drug detection canine and officer, when he got on scene, I asked the passenger to step out of the vehicle for his safety as well as the canine sniff around the vehicle, and then got him a safe distance away from the car so that the dog could do his job with his handler.
Do you recall who asked for the agency canine assist?
I do not recall who exactly asked for it. It would have either been Officer Butler or he would have asked me to do it on his behalf.
Okay. And so did you stand with Mr. Rogers while he was outside of the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And is that like the majority of your involvement in this case?
Yes, that was pretty much all of my involvement.
All right. And at some point, did Officer Butler inform you that he was having the individuals placed under arrest?
Yes.
Okay. Was Mr. Endreson taken into custody?
Yes, he was.
And was he placed in your patrol vehicle?
Yes, he was.
And was there a search of the Highlander?
Yes, there was a thorough and complete search completed of the Highlander.
Did you participate in that?
I did assist, but from my memory and refreshment from the report, I did not find anything personally. But there was contraband, drugs, and paraphernalia located within the vehicle by other officers and Officer Butler.
And when you say refreshing from your report, you read your report prior to coming to trial today?
Yes, I did read my report to refresh my memory prior to coming to trial today.
Have you watched any of, did you have a body worn camera?
I did have a body worn camera. For this event, I was not able to watch my version of the camera. We've had trouble with the systems. We've changed body cam providers and the digital storage for them, and sometimes we have difficulty accessing the media. So I only refreshed from a handwritten report that I wrote.
At some point, when the search was completed, did you have further involvement with Mr. Endreson?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell me about that?
Yes. At the end of the basic investigation, the defendant had wanted to make it sound like he was going to turn on his friend that was in the car and provide us additional information. They had said that he'd picked him up from the area near the Quality Inn in Payson here, and that there had been another vehicle left in that area, kind of tucked away on a side street or by the motel that had additional guns, drugs, and contraband contained in the vehicle in larger quantities.
So as a result, what did you do?
extended a courtesy to the defendant. We placed the handcuffs onto the front of his person, and I basically escorted him around the greater Payson area in reference to the Quality Inn area for him to try to help me find the vehicle that we were looking for in an attempt to find the additional car.
Were you able to locate a car?
We were unable to locate a car that matched the description he provided or that stood out in any way.
Have you seen Exhibit 57?
No.
Do you have any objection to that? Provided there's foundation. Why don't I ask him some questions? Okay. Could I direct your attention to Exhibit 57?
And Mark will help you look at it on the small iPad there.
Hi, David. No PDFs here.
Is it P57?
Yes.
To clarify, it's the face sheet of the report. Is that what you're wanting me to see?
No.
5-7.
5-7.
I'm on P57. Is that the correct?
Mark, can you see if he's looking at,
Why don't I,
or Mr. Elshorn, if you want to take a look?
if I may?
Oh,
No, you're good.
Aw.
Yeah, no problem, no worries. Just a little technical issue. All right, so do you see Exhibit 57 there?
yes, I'm studying it now to answer any questions. Okay.
Based on looking at it, I'm going to ask a yes or no question. Based on looking at Exhibit 57, do you think you can tell me what it is and describe what Exhibit 57 contains?
Yes.
Okay. Is Exhibit 57 an overhead or a geographical map of the town of Payson?
It's a fair and accurate representation of Payson.
Okay. And this looks like a Google Maps map.
Yes.
Okay. So it has kind of the 87 coming into town at the, well, does it appear to be oriented north, west, east, south?
On my monitor, it is north-south oriented.
Okay. Now, on an Exhibit 57, on the map, is Mazatzal Casino on there?
Yes, it is highlighted with a purple tag and a small purple token.
Okay. At the top of the map, or sort of in the top middle, there's a red pin. Are you able to tell me what that red pin is?
I would approximate that to be the location that I took the defendant on the tour of Payson to find the subject vehicle.
Is that the location
Just
of
30
Quality Inn?
seconds.
Approximately, yes.
Okay, I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 57.
Any objection to 57?
Objection is a demonstrative.
Counsel, you have both for just a minute.
At the deliberation room. Okay.
I want to clarify on something. You testified that you observed the gold Highlander coming into town, right?
From recollection, yes.
Okay. Do you recall what direction of travel?
I do not recall it.
Okay. So you can't tell us if it came from northbound traffic or southbound traffic.
No, not from my memory.
Okay. So going back to the Quality Inn in Payson, you took Mr. Endreson around. Did he have access to his phone during this time?
Unbeknownst to me, he did have access to his phone and it was in his possession while it was inside my car.
So you weren't aware of that?
I was not aware of that.
Okay. At some point, did you come into possession of the defendant's phone?
Yes, at the culmination of our drive around Payson.
Okay, and can you tell me how that unfolded?
So while we were driving around attempting to find what he had described, I had heard commotion from the back of my vehicle. I questioned him about it, and he had advised me that he was adjusting his glasses and other nonchalant activities. And then at the end of the transport around, I found that he was in possession of his cellular device and that he had completely factory reset the device, essentially destroying all data within the phone.
And how did you know that?
I'm familiar with iPhones. I've done the process myself before, and it's a common practice along with the screen that popped up for a fresh iPhone wipe was displayed.
Oh, Kat, thank you so much.
Move for the questions, Judge.
Mr. McCarty?
Thank you, Officer Flynn. You started out your testimony by talking about Officer Butler concocting a face.
Welcome, guys. We are covering a trial out of Arizona. It's a couple hours north of me. It's Arizona versus Craig Endreson. So welcome, Cat Raiders. This trial's a little interesting in that the detective here set up a fake Facebook page of a woman that was very attractive. He won't say she was attractive. The defense attorney asked him if she had all her teeth and two eyes. Apparently she did. And he lured a man named Mr. Rogers and the defendant to Payson and for some sex and to deliver some drugs to the girl for sex, or because she wanted drugs, and then they would also have sex. And then this guy, the defendant here, was the driver. So when he was pulled over, they found all of the co-defendant's drugs in his car. So because the girl had standards. Well, I don't know if I can do it. Oh yeah, I guess I can do it. A different color. And then this is the defendant here. So it's technically they did have drugs, but it's kind of shady and I consider rather unethical, but that's typical for police. He was just the driver, yeah. When they pulled him over, he claims he didn't know what was going on. Thank you, Kay. He also was kind of evasive, changed his story a little bit, and did, when he got the chance, erase his cell phone data. But the main guy they were targeting, Mr. Rogers, pled guilty already. And he's actually on community release because this happened back in 2021. No, she was not his girlfriend. She was this police officer pretending to be a girl. Yeah, the girl did not exist. He used some random girl's photos that was in a different state, so there's no chance anybody local would know who she was. And literally catfished them. A random woman's photos. We don't know who she is. I really want to tell her. I mean, they really aren't arguing entrapment, so I'm assuming that it was discussed pre-trial, and unfortunately they really can't. But it's certainly feels like entrapment to me. Also, this police officer on the right seemed to really have it in for the co-defendant and went out of his way to try to like get him. I did try doing a reverse Google search and could not find any hits on the profile pic.
Facebook account, there was a subject of the investigation. Do you remember that?
Yes,
Okay,
Hey,
and that
Pat.
subject was Christopher Rogers, right?
How you doing?
yes, sir.
And then you also testified that you were the officer that took Mr. Endreson around the Payson area to find this alleged gold BMW.
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
did.
And I will tell you that there was some previous testimony in here from Officer
Aw.
Butler that he told Mr. Endreson if he helped
Thank you so much, Kat. That was so sweet of you for gifting 5 Dolly Talk memberships for our sandwiches. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Much appreciated.
look for this vehicle, that he would not be arrested. Were you there? Did you hear Officer Butler tell that to Mr. Endreson?
I do not recall that statement. I'm not saying that it did not happen, but I do not recall it.
And I understood your testimony to be there, you never discovered any gold BMW, right?
No, we were not able to find any vehicle as he had described it to us that night.
And other than
Huh?
looking for this vehicle on that evening, did
Thank you for the gifting a membership. That is very much appreciated. Thank you.
you personally search for any gold BMW beyond that evening?
Not from my memory, no.
Do you know if any other officer involved did?
I can't make assumptions on what the other officers did that night. I myself, I helped take him to the jail, and after that, cleared the call.
And you had body worn camera, I think you testified during the interaction with Mr. Andreessen and Mr.
I
Rogers,
love
is
this
that right?
For a majority of the incident, yes, sir.
Did you turn it off during a period of time?
From my recollection, I believe it was turned off for the transport with the defendant in my car.
How about on the scene?
I do not recall the exact point that I turned the camera off.
Is there, sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you. Is there any policy that you're to leave that on?
We've been going through policy changes and progressions. It's been revised over time. At that time, I do not believe we had specific policy for the usage of the camera. It's been updated since then.
I'm not sure if it was this guy or somebody else. When they asked him about the camera he had, he said, well, we've gone through 4 or 5 different body cams, including Motorola. We got some on sale at Amazon. I mean, this is like a very small town police department who apparently gets their body cams off Amazon.
You testified at the beginning of your testimony that you went back and reviewed you couldn't review your body worn camera for some form of technical reason, but you reviewed your handwritten report. Did you make a handwritten report, or are you talking about a typed report?
When I say handwritten, I do mean typed. I've only handwritten 1 or 2 reports in my career. So yeah, I meant typed on a computer through a police software program.
All right. You didn't sit down physically with a pen and paper?
Not on this one. I have 1 or 2 other cases, but the time I'm not of that generation for having to handwrite reports.
Really had to spell that out.
One second. You assisted in the search of this vehicle, right? The Highlander?
Yes, sir.
And you reviewed your report. You searched the passenger compartment, basically the interior of this vehicle, is that right?
Yes, sir. That's a fair and accurate assumption.
Were you the first to search it?
I do not recall the order. Most likely not, but I do not recall, so I can't tell you for sure.
But you're not the officer that found the contraband though, right?
No, sir.
One second, Judge.
They don't move very fast in this.
Officer Flynn, I don't have anything else.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Alcorn, any redirect?
Yes, Judge, briefly. The body worn cameras that you had at the time, do you recall whether they had a mute function or not?
I imagine that they did, but I do not recall at this point in time. We've gone through 4 to 5 different iterations and makers of body cams, from Amazon.com specials up to Motorola and everything in between. So I cannot answer that question.
They got their body cam on Prime Day.
No other questions, Judge.
Okay. Members of the jury, this is your opportunity to submit any questions to Officer Flynn. I see there's at least one coming my way. I'll start with that one. Okay. I'll take that one and you can keep looking. Attorneys. Thank you. These are questions for you first. First, did you notice any odor or indication of alcohol on Mr. Rogers?
From my recollection of the night, I did not observe or recognize any signs of alcohol being present or any intoxication from alcohol.
And I'll ask a similar question. Did you notice any odor or indication of alcohol of the defendant, Mr. Endreson?
From my memory, no apparent odors of alcohol or intoxicating substances from him either.
Okay. Did Mr. Endreson voice his willingness to assist you in finding information on Mr. Rogers that would, did the defendant offer to help you find things on Mr. Rogers? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, can you answer that?
Yes, if I'm understanding the question correctly, yes, he did. Essentially, pardon the word, he wanted to snitch on his friend, throw him under the bus, and give us guns and dope, larger amounts, and to sell his friend out. I hope that answered the question.
Next question. Where did you first see Mr. Rogers and Mr. Endreson together?
From my recollection, it was basically at the casino. That was the meetup point that they had agreed on.
Okay, so, and just so the casino's where you saw them together first?
Yes.
Okay, next question. Okay.
Is that an objection or a burp?
Okay. When you put Mr. Endreson in your car, did you see him with the phone while he was in the back seat?
I did not see him with the phone.
Okay, and I'll just ask, thank you. Okay, Mr. Alcorn, any follow-ups? Well, let me ask, any other juror questions? Mr. Alcorn, any follow-up to the juror questions?
Erasing his phone.
No, Judge.
Mr. McCarty?
I do, Judge, but I'm going to need the questions if I could.
Yes, you may.
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
Officer Flynn, do you recall approximately how long the interaction with Mr. Endreson and Mr. Rogers lasted on the night of the 29th of August?
Can I ask you to clarify that question along what part of the night specifically?
So you were involved from the outset, right?
Yes.
Between the time that you were involved that night
Okay.
to the time that you transported Mr. Endreson to jail, how much time had elapsed? And I'm not holding you to a specific number. It's not a trick question.
If I would say from my estimate and approximation, I would say less than an hour would be a fair assumption.
And would it be fair to say that most of that time you were spent with Mr. Rogers?
Yes, sir. Most of that time I was with Mr. Rogers.
Right. You were, for lack of a better word, babysitting him outside the passenger's door to this car, and then
Watching,
eventually
accompanying
was
him,
removed from the car. I think he
observing
testified.
him.
See, the dog could be run around. Is that right?
Yes, that's fair and accurate. Yeah.
And then you said that Mr. Endreson told you that, and I think these were your words, that he would snitch on his friend. Was that after Officer Butler told Mr. Endreson, I'm not going to arrest you if you help us find this BMW?
I do not recall the officer saying that, but I believe that you had said earlier that was part of it. But if I had to make an assumption, it would have been after that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. May I approach you?
Yes, thank you.
Judge, I just have one follow-up to Mr. McCarty's questions.
Okay, you may.
Well, I guess it's a two-part follow-up. Mr. McCarty asked you if you were basically babysitting Mr. Rogers,
Yes,
and your answer is yes.
yes.
Did you ever see him manipulate the center console?
From my memory of the event, I did not see him manipulate anything inside the vehicle. If I may continue, that is my job as the backup officer to ensure that they don't move items of any nature within the vehicle, that they don't pull out a weapon to try to hurt us in a general scheme.
Reset
That's what
their
the
cell
backup
phone?
officer's primary responsibility is on these type of incidences and traffic stops.
No other questions.
Mr. McCarty, I'll give you a follow-up to Mr. Alcorn's credit if you had any. If not, that's fine. I don't want to create questions, but
Just briefly. Were you with Officer Butler when the initial traffic stop was made?
From my memory, yes, sir.
When that initial traffic stop was made, were the red and blue lights flashing? What I'm asking is, was there a car behind this Highlander, this Toyota, with the red and blue lights flashing to pull it over?
Yes, sir, there was.
Okay. You don't know what was going on in that car with the center console at that time, do you?
And from my vantage point of the second car in a line, I did not have a view of the vehicle. You would have to refer to Officer Butler or Deputy Butler at this point for the clarification of what was visible from within the vehicle, if there was any commotion or movement. So,
Thank you, sir. I don't have anything else.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Alcorn, may this witness be excused from any subpoena he's under?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. McCarty,
Yes, Judge.
thank you for being here. You're all done today, sir?
Thank you.
Or you're all done on the case?
Thank you.
Good time for a break this afternoon?
Yes, Judge, just one.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a 25-minute break this time. It is now quarter till, so we'll come back at 3:10. Please remember the admonition. Please don't be discussing the case amongst yourselves. Don't do any additional research. Please take your items with you.
Okay, I'll skip forward here. Oh, nice elevator hold music.
And I think right now it looks like we're going to finish today a little bit early. We'll go tomorrow. And right now it's looking like there's a possibility that we'll need next Thursday, but next Friday is looking like it's probably not going to be necessary. One question I have, I told you normally I would let you out by 5 or 5:30. Tomorrow evening, I may ask to push a little bit, but I realize tomorrow evening is Halloween, and I suspect many of you, parents, grandparents, voluntary places, I don't suspect we have a whole lot of you that are going to be dressing up, but maybe you would surprise me. How many of you have commitments tomorrow evening that it would be a problem if you were here after 5? And I expect to see some hands, so, okay. At least one. Okay. So that I need to know. So probably we'll work on tomorrow, making sure we're done by 5. We'll see where we're at. Trials are always just a little uncertain how long things will take, because I don't know how many questions the lawyers are going to ask. They sometimes don't know because they're fluid, and I don't know how many questions you're going to ask and those type of things. So I appreciate your helping us. I'll make a note of that. Okay. Mr. Alcorn, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would call Officer Max Farron.
Officer, if you want to come up, I'll have you stop about where the bailiff is, and I'll have you sworn in. Up to the microphone.
Sure. My name is Officer Max Farron. I'm a police officer with the Payson Police Department. I've been in law enforcement for roughly 7 years, about a year and a half break in there. I've served as a patrolman, a detective with the Payson Police Department. I'm currently back in the role of a patrolman.
Is Payson the only agency you've worked with?
No, prior to Payson, I did
impressive
4 years
mustache.
in
little jealous.
Carey, New Mexico as a patrolman and a first line supervisor there. In New Mexico, I graduated from the New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy.
Were you called out to assist the Tono Apache Police Department with an investigation on August 29th of 2021?
Yes,
Okay. And that was in your role as a patrol officer for Payson Police Department?
that's correct.
Okay. At that time, was it common for you to come out and assist Tono Apache with their investigations?
Yes,
And as a part of that process, I guess let's kind of jump right into this. When you do an agency assist, do you write a report?
sometimes.
Is it prudent to write a report?
Yes,
Okay. And you were there with another Payson Police Department officer, Officer Anderson, if I'm not mistaken.
Officer Anderson, that's correct.
And now, as a part of this investigation, did you write any kind of narrative?
I did not.
Are you aware of whether Officer Anderson wrote any narrative?
He did.
Okay. Have you
ACH.
have you prepared for trial by reading what Officer Anderson wrote?
Yes,
Okay. Have you did you have body worn camera that evening?
I did not.
Okay. Did Officer Anderson have body worn camera?
He did.
And in preparation for trial, did you review Officer Anderson's body worn camera?
I did.
Okay. Now, in preparation for trial, have I shown you some clips from Officer Anderson's body worn camera?
Yes.
Okay. And those clips, do they feature you prominently?
Yes.
Okay. So it is a recording of a conversation, or are they recordings of a conversation that you had?
They are.
Now, the clips that I've prepared you with for trial, are they the full and complete body worn camera worn by Officer Anderson?
No.
What's different about them?
They are clips of a full video.
Okay.
So portions that leave out sections of at least hour long.
So the full body worn camera is approximately an hour long, you'd say?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how long it is, but it's fairly long.
Okay. And you watched the whole thing?
I did?
Okay. And the clips are fairly short, you're saying?
Yes.
And are there approximately 5 of them?
That sounds right.
And when you reviewed them, did they appear to be manipulated in any way?
No.
The only difference about them was that they were shorter than the overall clip.
Yes.
And so I guess in that sense, they're redacted.
Sure.
Is anybody's voice like muted out or anything like that that you can tell?
Not that I saw.
Okay. So then other than being short, they are fair and accurate depictions of the full conversation.
They are fair and accurate depictions of the conversation that the clip captures.
Okay. And that was a conversation between you and Mr. Endreson?
Yes.
I think occasionally Officer Anderson will ask a question.
Yeah, he chimed in.
Mark? Let's see. Judge, I'd move to omit 51 through 55.
Mr. 51. Mr. McCarty, any objection to 51 through 55?
No.
So plaintiff's exhibits 51 to 55 are admitted.
Madam Clerk, could you switch the screen for me, please? All right. Great way to start. Do you recognize this clip?
It looks like the scene that I was on that day question.
Okay. There's some information in the top right. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, that is the Axon body worn camera informational stamp that is seen on every body worn camera that I've ever seen out of the Payson Police Department.
Okay. The first series of numbers, is that the date?
That is the date, starting with the year, month, and day.
Okay. And the second series of numbers, is that the time stamp?
That is the time.
And the third series of numbers, is that a numerical indication of the time zone?
I don't know.
Okay. And then underneath that, what is that?
That is Axon Body 3. That's the model of camera that's being worn. And then the serial number for the camera, which is assigned to each particular officer.
Is there any opportunity to like change that or name it or anything like that?
I'm not sure if there's a way to change the serial number. As far as I know, they come with the camera.
Okay. And you have watched this clip in preparation for trial?
If this is the clip that I watched earlier, then yes.
For the record, I'll play Exhibit 51. Okay. Thank you.
So Mike. That's all. He said he had 2 girls that he was meeting some up here. I was coming up here with them for work. Okay. And that's all I know. And I was coming up here. I'm married with a 15-month-old daughter. And that's it. Okay.
Getting some strange.
Do you recognize that clip?
Yes.
Okay. So I believe Mr. Endreson is telling you, it's a little hard to hear in the beginning, but I believe Mr. Endreson is telling you how he knows Mr. Rogers.
Or at least how he ended up here with him.
Okay. Did Mr. Endreson tell you that Mr. Rogers was his mechanic?
I didn't hear that part. It was a little low volume.
If I played it again, would that help?
Sure.
It's all.
Thanks so Mike. And that's all. He said he had 2 girls that he was meeting.
Yes, I heard that part. He said he's the mechanic.
Okay. And so when you were speaking with him, Mr. Endreson was sort of telling you this story about how they were up here to meet 2 girls.
Yes.
Okay. Clerk, if I could switch the screen. This clip.
This would be me and the defendant speaking.
Is it a continuation of that conversation?
Yes, the timestamp would indicate how much time has passed between the last clip and this clip.
We probably weren't the same. Just now we were. Yeah, just now.
I think that was a little hard to hear, but Mr. Endreson was saying that that Mr. Rogers had come up in a separate car.
That's correct.
This is Exhibit 52, Judge. Sorry. Thank you. Madam Clerk, switch the screen. And could you re-raise the screen? This is Exhibit 53. Is this more of that conversation?
Yes, it's a continuation of the same conversation.
This is Officer Anderson's hand,
Yes.
the body worn camera.
Can I just establish a timeline with you? How long?
That's Officer Anderson speaking.
Yes.
Before I continue, do you recall if Mr. Anderson made any statements or if he was asking questions of Mr. Endreson?
If Officer Anderson was asking questions,
Yes.
as he's about to, is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Is he making statements or is he asking? Is about to ask questions?
I can't recall. I think he does ask questions to confirm certain timeline points.
Did you guys get pulled over on the highway and stopped here, or did they contact you here? And then try to work backwards to the casino. So obviously, a traffic stop was conducted. Did they turn the lights down the hill? Well, he pulled me over and I pulled him. Okay. And you guys left directly from the casino park? He jumped in my car and left from the casino. Okay. Prior to that, you guys have been inside gambling, drinking, doing your thing? No, we went in there and we were supposed to be 2 females. Okay. And so I met him up here. Okay. And that's where we met up, and then he said that they were down here, so we were coming down the hill, and I said, I'm stopping here at Circle K to get me a drink. So the only time he spent in your vehicle was between the casino and right here? Yes. Did he bring any bag or anything into your car? Not to my knowledge, no. I mean, no. I mean, so if he were to have, he got in the back seat, opened the door in the back seat for a second and then he jumped in the front. I don't know what. Any idea if he dropped anything in there? I don't know. And I mean, did he do anything that is out of the ordinary for his behavior when you guys normally associate? Did he seem abnormally nervous? Did anything kind of go, oh, that was
I know, we went into, like I said, we went into the casino, okay, and we went in there, I lost, $20, okay, and then we were supposed to come down here, go to the hotel, and then, we're gonna meet the girls or something, it's like, basically, that's all I know.
Did you have like luggage and stuff in the car for your overnight stay? You personally?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I had a bag in there, and I think I forgot it at the house, but I don't know. I usually throw the bag in there. And actually, I have a Nissan Armada. It's a 2014. So I was going to be bringing that until last night when somebody came over and knifed all 4 of my tires to give me flat tires. Okay. So I can show you.
While you were having a conversation with Mr. Endreson, he denied drinking or gambling at the casino?
Just in that clip?
Yes, or to your recollection?
Yes, he initially denied it.
Okay. This conversation, it was kind of an ongoing conversation. Were you and Officer Anderson, were you trying to see if you could get Mr. Endreson to consent to a search of the vehicle?
Yes.
He had some concerns about that?
Yes.
And were you trying to, what were you telling him?
I talked to him about an attempt to establish ownership with things that would be in there. I was essentially trying to assuage his concerns with a consent search.
And at one point, did Mr. Endreson say, well, I feel like I don't have a choice?
I don't remember if he said that or not.
Okay. If he had, what would you have told him?
I would have told him that he...
Just like, what's the objection?
Improper hypothetical.
I'll sustain the objection.
Madam Clerk, could I have the screen? Thank you. There at the end of the clip, Mr. Endreson kind of showed you pictures on his phone of the Armada.
Yes.
Can you switch the screen again, please? What am I seeing here?
This is him showing me pictures of the slash tires, as I recall.
Sort of more of the conversation.
That's correct. Continuation.
See the two there? Okay. Oops. And the two on the other side. And that's the reason I had to bring this is a spare vehicle I just purchased. Okay. And I just purchased it within the last 2 weeks. And so I haven't really even gone through the damn car. And but it was $2,300 I purchased it for.
Here's the deal, man. If your friend looped you in like he's doing a class 2 felony, which, like he said, is only trumped by murder, then that sucks. That sucks for you, and we would love to get you out of this situation as soon as possible. If, on the other hand, you were in cahoots with this guy, we're going to take his phone today. We're going to find out. If you guys are texting about this, you're going to get charged too. When you end up going to jail because we had a warrant to go down there and get you, your wife is going to see the report, and the report's going to say you came up here for strange. It's going to be embarrassing as shit. Right? The best way to get you out of this situation is to make sure his shit's not in your car and cut you loose.
If his shit's in my car, do I get cut loose?
It's his shit.
That's right. But I don't have no shit in the car. So I don't want
If his shit,
I don't want anything to happen.
if his stuff is in a bag,
May I have control of the screen?
And that was 54.
54, yeah.
You aren't going to make that
Mr. Endreson
mistake
told you
again.
numerous times that he owned the Toyota Highlander.
Yes, he said he had bought it recently.
Okay, can you switch the screen, please? This is Exhibit 55. Is this a continuation of that conversation?
It looks like it, yes.
things going on here. He said something about Facebook and shit like that.
If you have info that he shared about this situation and you share it with Officer Butler, he's probably not only going to let you go, he's probably going to kiss you.
No, it's about two girls. I mean, there was, minor discussion of, partying, but I don't, partying is partying.
Like personal use type stuff.
Something of that nature, yeah. But that's about it.
That's the difference between a friend saying, yeah, we'll go do a line with these girls, and hey, we're going to move kilos into this area, right?
I know
There's a huge difference in that conversation.
there's nothing in my background that shows anything to do with that. No, kilos or drugs or any of that. Nothing in my background.
Okay.
I mean, there's fucking nothing. I mean, right now it is nervous time, but I got a air gun in the back.
We don't care.
I mean, it's a blender gun.
We got a real guy. It's America.
Yeah, and my backpack should be in the back. If I forgot it, I've got it in the Armada, and that's the only reason why.
Any other bags in the car that belong to you?
No, that's all. I mean, that's all I would
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. Sarah
Switch
just
that.
wanted to say hi to
Thank
Hot
you.
Irish.
So Mr. Endreson admitted to you that there was at least a conversation about personal use drugs.
He used the term partying. I inferred that to mean personally used drugs when I clarified that.
Hang
He
on.
seemed to confirm
Let me
that.
full screen for a minute.
He denied that there was
Hello.
anything else in the vehicle that
Hi,
belonged to him.
Hot Irish. Hi. I'm here because you missed
Well,
me.
No, he did end up saying
Hi.
that there were certain things in the car that belonged to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. I'm sorry. That was a stupid question. He told you about an air gun or a burna gun.
A burn gun in clips that have not been shown. There were other things that were mentioned that were in the car.
Okay. Some personal property.
That's correct.
Did you end up searching the vehicle?
I did not search the vehicle
Okay.
as far as I remember.
At some point, Mr. Endreson gives or communicates to you consent to search the vehicle.
It was communicated to several officers on scene. I believe I was there for that, yeah.
Okay. And at that point, you sort of stayed on scene as
Oh,
kind of scene
okay,
security.
fine.
That's correct. I stood with him for quite a while.
Okay. And did you really have any other involvement with the case?
Believe I Mirandized him.
Okay. I think that ended your involvement at that point. Is
Do you like his
anything else?
mustache?
To my
Who's
recollection, that's correct.
Him?
Oh my God.
No further questions. Sir.
That's correct.
I wouldn't want that thing anywhere near me.
Ah, he calls it the thigh tickler.
I bet he does. Gross.
And he's either destined to be a cop or do adult videos.
Imagine what gets caught in that.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Probably got glazed donuts from 1997 in there.
You met Tom Selleck? When did you met Tom Selleck? How far?
No further questions, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Officer Farron,
Fair. That's correct.
Theron?
you watched those 5 clips.
Careful where you put your legs.
Mr. Endreson, would you agree with me? Said at least 3 times that he was up there to meet with a couple of women.
I don't remember how many times, but I would agree multiple times he said that, yes.
And at one point you told him, we're gonna get your phone. And if there's information in there about you cheating on your wife is gonna see that.
No.
Something to that effect. What did you just tell him in that video about what would be shown on his phone to his wife?
I can clarify that. I motioned backwards to the person that had already been placed under arrest, I believe. I said we were going to get that guy's phone. And if the defendant and that other gentleman were texting about the drugs, we were going to get a warrant, come down and get him. And the report would show that he was up there to get Strange, which would be embarrassing. I did not say that we
Who's
would get the
Strange?
defendant's phone.
Besides you.
Well, yes. The defendant was down in Payson with Mr. Rogers to get Strange.
the hell are you on about?
To have the sex.
What?
He was trying to get laid.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah. Get some strange.
Right. Okay. Also, you need to look at your DMs.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Yeah. And I want to, sometime before the end of the stream, I want to discuss it because I can't discuss it on my stream because reasons. You'll see in a minute.
Quote,
Yeah, okay.
well,
Testified that defendant said that there were certain things that belonged to him in that car. Right? You just went over that with Mr. Alcorn.
Correct.
Right. It was the air gun, and he said he thought he had a bag, but he must have left it in the Armada.
That could be right.
And he showed you pictures of that vehicle on his phone, did he not?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you observe a vehicle with, I guess for lack of a better phrase, messed up tires?
Well, it's been 4 years since I looked at the photographs, but I have no reason to believe that the tires weren't flat when he showed me the photos.
And then you said he consented to search the vehicle.
He did.
And then subsequently, you were the one who Mirandized him.
Yes, I Mirandized him after he was placed under arrest.
And in the course of the videos that we just saw there, which were, I guess, I don't want to say compressed, but little clips along the way, you Mirandized him after that last clip?
Yes.
Okay. And as I understood your testimony before, your recollection of this interaction was roughly an hour, give or take?
The entire body camera for Officer Anderson that I reviewed was roughly an hour, maybe longer. The clips drawn from this conversation are in the first portion of that. There is a great deal of time where I'm either standing by silently or I don't even know where I am in frame.
Okay, but you were there for that entire hour.
I think so.
Okay. Do you have any do you have any idea why Officer Anderson is not here testifying about his body cam and you are?
I believe Officer Anderson lives out of state now.
Fair to say he's no longer a local officer.
That's very fair.
Do you have any idea why?
Objection, Judge.
he shaved his mustache and we forced him out. We'll, Kim Blandino is a very eccentric pro se litigant
1 second, Judge.
who likes to annoy judges in Vegas.
I think you
And-
might have a thing for me.
Yeah. So, oh, what the hell? I'll pull it up now. We do like Kim. Well, we did.
Where we do? No, we do.
Oop. Hella just sent this to me. We have covered
Wait,
Kim's videos in the past.
Context, yeah. Make sure you got context.
We've covered Mr. Blandino's videos in the past. He's not a sovereign cit, although he's confused with sovereign citizenship.
Yeah.
Whenever Hella streams on him, he always pops into the comments after.
Mm.
And
Oh, once he popped into chat, the very first time
Did.
that we streamed on him, he popped in chat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he just responded again.
Wait, also, the last time we streamed about him, it was just a 7-minute or so appearance of his in court.
Yes.
And it was a great appearance.
Was that when he spilled the water?
Yeah. And it was trying to get Judge Levitt dismissed.
Yeah. And he keeps trying to mop up the water.
Yeah, and we were really laughing at him that day.
I was not kind.
And yeah, we weren't actually very kind to him that day. But I also said to him, "Hey, Kim, if you're watching, I'm sorry that I haven't responded to your many messages in my comment section.
Yes.
Because you know how what happens when someone sends you messages and you don't respond, and then some time elapses and you don't get around to it, and then it gets kind of awkward. So I said that to Kim in the stream.
Yeah.
And so if you see this, I'm sorry about that. So this is what he said in response to my apology. This. You want to read it?
Yeah. Hi, Hella. Just saw this. Apology accepted, although not needed. What is so great about the work Alex Falcone and our Nevada judges does is that he educates people on a process that most people know little about. So here he's talking about the group of people who I guess stream court hearings from Las Vegas, and they do good work. Uh, so I like to do the same thing, even though I know few people are interested. Oh, don't sell yourself short.
No.
I love to discover the meaning of words and to reach levels of understanding that find no interest in, and even to the point of being mocked and ridiculed. Jesus told us this would happen. Too true. In any event, I have lots of work to do. I have an appearance November 6th with the Chief Judge Wise if he does not cancel it and issue an order before the hearing.
Yeah, we knew that actually.
Nice having intercourse with you.
What the fuck?
My only regret is that I cannot have this intercourse from Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Look it up. It really exists, founded in 1754. May God be with you.
I need God to be with me right now. Okay, did I pass out? Did I drink too much? I don't remember this, Kim. What? What? Well, wait, what now? Wait.
Oh my God. That is oh boy.
Okay, so I wanted this read out on your stream, on a stream that does not have his name in the title,
Yeah.
because I'm sure he subscribed to my channel, and I'm sure he searches for his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Thankfully, he didn't want to have intercourse from conception. Was it good? I wish I remembered.
he does have a sense of humor.
He does. Look, we actually really like this guy. He's
I do.
hilarious. What the fuck is
Eccentric.
he on about? Okay, so intercourse clearly means
Yes.
discussion.
But it's also a location in Pennsylvania.
Intercourse is a location in Pennsylvania.
It's a city in Pennsylvania. It is an actual city, Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up. He's a card, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he a card? Oh, what a funny fellow.
So yeah, that was random.
So that's his response to us laughing our asses off at his 7-minute court appearance and him spilling water all over his own paperwork and all over the desk.
He's like pulling up wet paper, shaking them off. And the judge is just leave it. Oh, I need this. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And yeah, we already knew about his upcoming court dates. Thanks, Kim.
Is he a vexatious litigant?
Yeah.
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 He wouldn't call himself that.
No.
The judges would.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the first thing he did in the last hearing is start arguing about which table he would sit at.
Because he likes protocol.
Exactly. And the judge is just like, within 15 seconds, are you arguing already?
Yeah, I don't want to have an argument about where we're sitting. And then he's like, look, I want to get these motions out of the way first because I want to make a motion for you to recuse yourself, but I don't want you to think that I didn't want to put the motion to recuse yourself first because then
Yeah.
it would look like I was
Forum
being.
shopping.
Yeah, that's right. No. So
And
I
yeah,
want
and
to by you, Judge.
yeah, and he also threatened her with the FBI again. And the judge is just like, you mean
That's right.
again
But you did
after
that
last
back in
time?
2020.
Yeah. Oh, so
Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy that.
yeah, definitely. That's
And I had to get that off my chest.
yeah. And witnesses.
Mm.
I don't think else. Thank you, sir.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Members of the jury, do you have any questions for Officer Farron? Okay, it looks like we have no juror questions. Mr. Alcorn, may this witness be excused from any subpoena he's under?
Yes, please.
Mr. McCarty, any objection to that?
Yes, sir.
You have no.
I'm sorry, no objection.
Okay. Thank you, Officer, for being here. You're free to go. Thank you. Witness is lined up at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay, so there is just the witness to come in and testify that the drugs are indeed the drugs, and they are indeed the drugs. So we are going to skip that and head to the closing on day 2.
Put it back in again. You know.
So yeah, we're going to start with the state's PowerPoint
God.
presentation.
What the fuck is that?
What do you think about it, Hella?
This is nightmare fuel. Ugh.
He can't even use a font where he doesn't have to fix the kerning. Dear
The
God.
font was the least of my concerns. What the hell? Oh. My eyes.
I think that's what my
Jesus
dad saw when he was getting his cataract
Christ.
fixed today.
Oh. God, someone spewed glitter all over it or some shit. What the fuck is that?
He's very proud of his
State versus
PowerPoint.
Craig, Stephen Endreson. My lord, like, it's a trial. This is like, it looks like it's an amusement park or some shit.
Yeah.
This is not appropriate for a criminal trial. Okay, I can't wait to see the rest of it. Please
That'll
keep
restart
going.
something.
The classic fix.
Sparkly, yeah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're here today because of this guy right here, Craig Endreson. And we're here because he was helping Mr. Rogers bring drugs into the Payson area for the purposes of partying.
Can we move
When I start a
ourselves,
closing, I
please?
like to try to break it down into a who, what, when, where, and why. I think it's helpful to frame the evidence as you've heard it, kind of in this way. It's
Why are we here? But he didn't even do the freaking space right. There should be a space after the comma or the colon.
Yeah, it should be.
Why?
Whatever.
To have sex.
Have
Mm.
It's like profit.
What? Accomplice to selling meth and fentanyl.
This is hilarious.
I thought you would like this.
breaks it down
Right.
into very basic terms. So again, we're here because of Craig Stephen Endreson.
God, this font is so freaking bad. Oh my God.
The what is that he's an accomplice to sell methamphetamine. That was what's alleged to have been found inside of the car. This at the point proven to be found inside of the car. This occurred on August 29th of 2021, approximately 8 o'clock in the evening here in Payson. And the purpose was ostensibly to meet these two girls who didn't exist, who were ultimately Officer Butler's fake Facebook profile.
Cogslock.
I'm going to go through the elements But really, I think Mr. McCarty and I are only arguing one thing. And I have the burden of proof here, so I have to go through all of these things because if I didn't, Mr. McCarty would ask you to find him not guilty because I didn't do these things, and he'd be absolutely correct. And so in order to get where we're going, the state has to prove that, in this case, someone possessed dangerous drugs for sale. Now, that could be the defendant, but it could also be, in this case, Mr. Rogers, because the state is alleging that Mr. Endreson is his accomplice. So in this case, we have to prove that someone possessed dangerous drugs for sale, narcotic drugs for sale, someone transported those drugs. And that's with respect to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to come back to 5 and 6 in a little bit. So here we have the dangerous drugs. These are some of the exhibits you've seen. There's a shard of methamphetamine on the left, a shard of methamphetamine on the right. You heard the criminalist's testimony this morning. She tested a sample from one of these two substances, and it tested positive for methamphetamine. There's really no question about that. On the left, you have blue and 30 pills. These tested positive by the analyst for the presence of fentanyl. You heard Scout Butler's testimony about how counterfeit fentanyl pills are pressed into this form. These are technically the form or the branded form of oxycodone. They're pressed this way by whoever makes them, but they contain fentanyl in the lab. We tested that and showed that. On the right here, you have this pressed white powder. You have this white powder substance. I believe one of you had a question about what this white powder substance is. You also heard testimony from the analyst that she tested a sample of this powder, and this powder is tested positive for fentanyl. This was actually specifically item number 2 on the analyst's report. In fact, I've got it right there. So the sample of powder was taken by Officer Butler. That was tested. That's the 25.99 grams of powder there on the scale on the right. You have one blue tablet imprinted N30 that was tested, that also tested positive for fentanyl. So there's really no question here. There's no argument, I submit, that these are drugs. The substances found were drugs. Let's talk a little bit about the co-defendant, Mr. Rogers, and I want to talk about the different types of possession as well. So, Mr. Rogers, I'm going to go forward here for a second.
Oh
Mr.
my
Rogers,
God, sir.
You heard the stipulation.
What the
He was
hell
charged,
is this?
He pled guilty.
Seriously.
It's clearly a template that's for like something else.
And this is going to be up. This happened during the Lori Vallow trial when I was there at closing. And it was this PowerPoint's even worse than that. And that was a god awful PowerPoint. It was so hard to read. It was just full of text that like you couldn't make out because the TV was really far away from the jury. So I don't know how far away the TV is, but that font on the right, you can't even read.
I think it's Georgia, and it's in like it's obviously in caps or spaced out.
Yeah.
Okay, don't hate me. I am a professional graphic designer, and I don't hate it. It's just in the wrong context.
Yeah. Well,
I generally hate centered type, and I especially hate centered type when there are 2 sets of centered type. For me, that's just ridiculous.
and the font is so small on the right.
For a presentation, it shouldn't be small. But so there's things I hate about it, but it's not as terrible as you're making out. What I hate about it is completely out of context.
Fair.
Like, this is a criminal trial, and it looks like it's at a wedding or something.
Yeah.
Actually, no, more like a baby shower.
Yeah. Like you just fold it in half. Like you printed it on like Microsoft Publisher in 1999 for like, invites to the baby shower.
That's right. Yeah.
You were cordially invited.
It's a really amateur baby shower template thing. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
Guilty in a case number that is very similar to this case number, and that occurred on September 25th of 2023. So as a matter of fact, he acknowledged responsibility for the crimes with which Mr. Endreson was charged. Now, that being said,
Oh,
the
and
law
okay, now
recognizes different.
Yes.
And this is why people need someone like me to teach them how to use like Canva or one of these softwares that they're using properly, because templates are all fine and well, but then they go and fuck them. All right? Then they go and fuck them and put something else on the page, which is again completely out of context. So he's gone and used the default, whatever it is, chuck some different type on the page that doesn't fit with what's already there. Not that he's chosen the correct thing to start off with, he's chosen the wrong template, but then he's going to put something else on there that doesn't fucking fit.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, what he's put on there isn't too bad for this context. Like the whole orange with the bullet points isn't too bad. It's actually clear. Get rid of everything else now.
Yeah, you don't need the
The
co-defendant
shit on the
part.
left looks fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Make it bigger
Okay.
so the jury can see it if they don't have great eyes.
Okay, class over for now.
Types of possession. You can be in actual or you can be in constructive possession. That's, I think, one of the very last instructions in your definitions. Actual possession means like this wallet that's in my pocket that I just pulled out of my pocket. I actually possess it. It's in my hand. Constructive possession is the type of possession when you think about your belongings that are currently sitting out in the parking lot. Probably all of you or most of you got here in a car. There's a car sitting out in the parking lot. You might have sunglasses in your
That
car.
should be their
and
version of
other
the big-
personal belongings. You don't have them physically on. But by virtue of the fact that you have locked them in your car with your key, and you took your key with you, presumably, you have some form of constructive possession over them. You're exercising dominion or control over them. Ownership is also a type of constructive possession. You own the vehicle. Some of you might have a lien or a lease, but you may own the vehicle. That's a type of constructive possession. The law also says possession can be sole or joint, meaning this is probably familiar to all of our experience, but some of you may have spouses who also own the vehicle. They also have a form of constructive possession. Or if you, especially if you have a spouse or roommates, you might share items with them. And so possession can be joint and it can be sole. More than one person can possess an item at the same time. The law recognizes that. And I'm going to get back to this in a second. So Mr. Rogers has already acknowledged responsibility. He's already pled guilty. He has acknowledged essentially guilt in bringing the drugs in Mr. Endreson's vehicle into the Payson area for the purposes of selling them, or for the purposes, I suppose we could argue from the evidence of trading those drugs potentially for sexual favors that Officer Butler was probably never going to make good on. So what we have to do.
He just said he was going to trade sexual favors that Officer Butler was never going to make good on.
What?
We hope he wasn't going to. Rawr.
Decide here is whether the defendant, or whether I submit to you what you need to decide is whether the defendant is an accomplice. So what is an accomplice? There's an instruction. The instruction kind of tells you in legalese what an accomplice is. And so I'm going to try to argue more simpler terms that help explain what an accomplice is. So the very first thing, this is the number one bullet, is intention. You cannot unintentionally be an accomplice. You must form the intention, and this is probably the most important part. This is the mental state required. You must form the intention to do the rest of the stuff, to facilitate the crime. We're going to get into help, means and opportunity, etc. But you must form the intention to be a participant in the crime. You cannot be an accomplice without intending to be an accomplice. You can't accidentally be an accomplice. Certainly you can accidentally help. Certainly you can accidentally provide means or opportunity or facilitate a crime without your knowledge. But that does not make you an accomplice. You must form the intent. You must form the will to participate in the crime. The definition refers to aids or counsels or agrees to aid, etc. I think it's really just simply, it means help. You help someone else in some way commit a crime. You help them, you give them advice on how to do it, you facilitate their completion or their attempt at the crime in some way. You may also merely provide the means or opportunity. And so in this case, I'm alleging that Mr. Endreson has done both of these, but in particular with respect to means and opportunity. I'm going to get into Mr. Endreson's statements in a little while, but the first story that he told the officers was that he drove Mr. Rogers up to Payson. And so if you believe that he intended to be a participant in the crime, he aided Mr. Rogers by way of driving him up here, if you believe the first story. Now, if you believe the second story that Mr. Endreson told officers, he assisted Mr. Rogers in getting to the casino. You might recall from the testimony and from the body worn camera that Mr. Rogers and Mr. Endreson, in Mr. Endreson's own words, were to drive to the casino to meet these two girls. And the two girls weren't at the casino. They said they told Mr. Rogers Officer Butler told Mr. Rogers they were now down at the Circle K. So they got in the car and they drove down from the casino to the Circle K to meet the girls. What are we meeting the girls for but to deliver the drugs and solicit sexual favors? Now, accomplice liability also includes anything that's a reasonably foreseeable consequence of what you are doing or how you are helping. Let me give you an example of this. This comes up frequently in the context of robberies. Now, this case isn't a robbery. I'm not saying that Mr. Endreson did rob anyone or was thinking about robbing anyone, but it frequently comes up in the context of robberies. You agree or conspire with one or more individuals to rob another person, or maybe rob a bank. In the course of robbing the bank, someone has a gun and they shoot another person. And there's one of your dumb co-defendants or co-conspirators who shoots an individual in the bank. Under Arizona law, you can be held responsible for the homicide of that person, not just the robbery, but the actual shooting, even though you did absolutely nothing to kill the person. And that's because you are an accomplice. An accomplice includes any reasonably foreseeable consequence. And so the fact that someone might get injured or might get killed as a result of a bank robbery is a reasonably foreseeable consequence of the bank robbery. I submit to you, and I would argue, that if Mr. Endreson's intent was merely to drive Mr. Rogers up here and party with these two girls, we're going to see that he knew about the drugs. And he may not have intended to use the drugs himself. He may not have intended to do anything with the drugs. However, it was a reasonably foreseeable consequence. I submit to you, Mr. Endreson knew what the mission of this drive was, of coming to Payson. He knew what the mission was. And it was a reasonably foreseeable consequence that at the very least, that Mr. Rogers was going to transfer or sell those drugs to these fake women. I submit he actually intended to help. He intended to provide the means or opportunity to do so, but at the very least, it was a reasonably foreseeable consequence. So how do we come to decisions about these facts? What is it about the evidence that gets us there? Well, number one, this is his Toyota Highlander car. It's the gold SUV that you see on some of the body-worn camera. Mr. Rogers' vehicle was never found. He was the driver of that. And so anything that he did, the affirmative step, I suppose, that you could say that he took to be an accomplice was that he was the driver. He drove Mr. Rogers. Again, if you believe the first story, he drove Mr. Rogers all the way up from Phoenix to Payson. As we'll see in another exhibit, actually all the way from Glendale to Payson to facilitate this crime. But certainly, if you believe the second story, he drove Mr. Rogers at the very least from the casino to the Circle K parking lot. Or, in the alternative, the third version of events, which is actually that he picked Mr. Rogers at the Quality Inn in Payson and drove him to the casino. And we know about his intention, and we know, we can infer, or I submit to you that you can infer Mr. Endreson's intention and his knowledge about what was going on that night by the repeated misstatements, the repeated deceptive behavior and statements that were made that night to police officers. We're going to get into that later. It's worth going over some of the other charges. So as to count 5 and count 6, Mr. Endreson is not alleged to be an accomplice as to those counts. So the only thing he is alleged to be an accomplice for is counts 1 through 4. Certainly you could find him guilty of possessing dangerous drugs for sale. You could find that, but that's not what Mr. McCarty and I are arguing. As to count 5 and count 6, and I believe this is actually count 6, Mr. Endreson is charged himself. So the state is alleging that he possessed drug paraphernalia, that he was the one responsible for that, and Mr. Rogers is maybe in joint possession, but is not necessarily involved. And so what is required from the statute is that you possess with the intent to use, you possess with intent to use an item of paraphernalia.
Yeah, now the background
What
goes.
is paraphernalia? It's a pretty broad definition. You have kind of a side down definition, but it's really anything that you can use in concert with drugs. It's something that you can use to store drugs or use drugs or transport drugs or interact with them in a variety of ways. I think I have the idea. And so, in fact, let's go to this.
Sure,
This
it
is
was white
paraphernalia.
before.
It could also be.
Now
No,
it's
I thought
gray.
It could also be a pink pouch. The pink pouch could be used. In fact, was used to contain drugs. You certainly could find that Mr. Endreson was in possession of the pink pouch and was therefore in possession with the intent to use the pink pouch to conceal drugs. That's not really what I'm arguing here. I'm arguing that this is his paraphernalia. It's a sunglasses case that was found in the center console directly next to where Mr. Endreson was seated. He had dominion and control over it, and he had either sole or joint possession of it with Mr. Rogers.
Meth shouldn't be in a pretty font.
How do we know that he knowingly possessed meth paraphernalia? It was his car. It was found in the center console, and it's a sunglasses case. Well, Mr. Officer Butler described it as a sunglasses case.
I like it. It's
I suppose
ironic.
really you could hold any kind of glasses in it. Mr. Rogers was not wearing glasses that day. He was not found with glasses that day. Officer Butler testified to that. Mr. Andreessen is the only person who was.
It's gotten worse,
I
hasn't
submit
it?
to you that's because it's his sunglasses
Yeah.
case, or his glasses case. It belongs to him, and he was keeping his paraphernalia inside of it. We can infer that from his nervous behavior. I'm going to address the adultery thing here in a little while.
I've got bad
his nervous
eyesight, but
behavior,
I read that as his cat.
Behavior is evidence from which you can infer other factors,
Yeah.
this type of circumstantial evidence. You heard Officer Butler testify about, in his training and experience, what kind of behaviors are produced when
His car, center console, sunglasses case, only person wearing glasses. You better hope
Gloves.
everyone on the jury has glasses, dude.
Yeah.
You need glasses to read this.
Because the background's gone grey now.
Yeah.
And that type on the right used to be in caps at least.
Yeah.
And
It's not
why is that
consistent.
ribbon thing? It's now green.
Good Lord.
Maybe he gave it to his daughter to stuff around with.
That could be. She had to do a PowerPoint for computer class in middle school.
Or maybe he gave it to his like hot paralegal to mess with, you know. Here you go, love.
Yeah.
You do this, make yourself useful. I'll be with you later.
Mm.
someone is being deceptive about what they are doing, or when they are confronted with a stressful situation. And regardless, there's an exhibit in here. It's Exhibit 55, which I think is probably one of the most important exhibits submitted by the state. It's a portion of body-worn camera during which Mr. Endreson admits that there was a mention of partying with these two girls. And partying is partying, he says. To which Officer Farron responds, so like personal use type stuff. And Mr. Endreson says something to the effect of, that's all it was. I submit to you, watch Exhibit 55, you'll see Mr. Endreson's admission to intending to come up here with those drugs and with that paraphernalia to party with these two girls. I believe this is count 5. If it's not, I've got them reversed. But in any event, this is the other count. The defendant tampered with physical evidence. You didn't hear much about this, but it does contribute to the overall story. The evidence you heard was that Mr. Endreson possessed his phone the entire investigation. He was showing officers pictures off his phone. You can see that in some of the body-worn camera clips. He made a phone call for the insurance at one point. I believe Officer Butler testified to that. I don't think that's in actually any of the body-worn camera clips. He was in possession. He was using his phone the entire time.
Why didn't the defendant plea? Because he's one of those defendants that understandably and rightfully is pissed at the charges and thinks they're BS, but is too stubborn to make them go away. He's in jail right now. He's in custody. 3 years. He was out for a while, but then I think he missed. There was something happened. His bond got revoked, so he's in jail for like 3. Basically the time he's facing, he's already like faced the max. So he's not going to do it much more jail time after this if he's convicted.
I don't even know what this trial's about.
Drugs in his car.
Possession of drugs.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, that's a fair bit.
What?
Hello. There's a fair bit of drugs, so
Quite a lot, yeah.
yeah. So dealing, trafficking, right? Okay, gotcha.
You mean the evidence is shite? Well, he under the letter of the law, he's guilty, in my opinion. But it was entrapment, and I don't think the time he'll get. He's like, it's basically time served. if he's convicted. Is from what I've seen. But
Did you want me to tell you if I put my PJs under my pillow, David? Is that very important to you?
he was asking me earlier.
And then lo and behold,
right. No, I
Officer
sleep naked,
Max
so
Farron
there.
says to Mr. Endreson, and this is on one of the Payson Police Department body worn clips, "Hey man, we're going to get Mr. Rogers' phone, and if there's any evidence on there, we're going to get a warrant, and we're going to come arrest you, and it's going to be embarrassing as shit." And what does the defendant do? He holds on to the
David, did you
phone,
see
and
what
while
Kim
he's in
Blandino
Officer
said to
Flynn's
me?
vehicle, maintains custody of it, and factory resets that. You heard testimony both from Officer Flynn and from Officer Butler. Both of them testified, certainly Officer Flynn testified, being an iPhone user, familiar with that process, knows what it looks like, testified it was factory reset. Mr. Endreson has access to his phone, factory resets his phone while he's in the back of Officer Flynn's patrol car. For what purpose? Number one, to conceal evidence that he intended to help Mr. Rogers, that he knew what was going on. And how do we know that it was in advance of judicial proceedings that are about to be commenced? Well, when better than when you're under arrest and placed in the back of a patrol car? You know that you're about to be charged. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the state's burden of proof. This is one of your instructions, and we all know it, but I submit that maybe we don't know it by definition. It's beyond reasonable doubt.
Oh, look, isn't that
The thing we
cute?
have
They've
to
got little
find
gavels.
is whether or not the evidence proves that the defendant committed these crimes himself or as an accomplice beyond a reasonable doubt. What is beyond a reasonable doubt? What does that mean? I've kind of condensed down the instruction. The actual instruction's a little longer than this. It comes to us from a case called State v. Portillo. What Portillo says is reasonable doubt is evidence that leaves you firmly convinced.
If you think a comma should go here, you should have already put 15 other commas in this sentence. Good Lord. Like if, comma, on the other hand, comma, you think there's a real possibility that he is not guilty, comma, you must give him the benefit of the doubt and find him not guilty. Like he's just, he wrote this like a kid in English class who's been instructed when to place commas and not knowing how to do it correctly.
I want to know why there's a white line around the gavel and around the little triangle thing.
Yeah.
I want to know.
The defendant's guilt.
So, Judge, I'm gonna, I normally wouldn't object, but I am going to. I don't think it's appropriate for the state to instruct on the law. I think the law that the jury is to consider is contained within the court's instructions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Sorry, you're
overrule the
wrong.
objection, but I will, Mr. Alcorn, I'll ask that you refer to the jury instructions as to outside sources potentially referencing Portillo, et cetera. Sure. Members of the jury, I'll just advise you, the attorneys, I've told you what they said is not evidence. I'll also tell you what they say is not the law. You determine the evidence, the facts. I give you instructions on the law, but as I indicated also in your instructions, what they say may help you to understand the law and the evidence. So, Mr. Alcorn, you may continue.
Thank you, Judge. So this is the instruction. Reasonable doubt is evidence that leaves you firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt. I don't want to say it's no more than that. It's certainly no less than that, because this is still a high burden, higher than any other burden, and high enough for criminal charges. So it's evidence that leaves you firmly convinced. It's not beyond all doubt. It's not beyond a shadow of a doubt. It's not absolute certainty. And in fact, the instruction says that. There are few things that we know in this world with absolute certainty. It's none of those things. It's evidence which leaves you firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt. Now, the flip side of that, if you think there is a real possibility, and here's the other thing that you need to think about. If there is a real possibility that the defendant is not guilty, you must find him not guilty. So when we consider reasonable doubt, or beyond a reasonable doubt, what we're thinking of is, has the evidence firmly convinced me, or is there a real possibility that the defendant is guilty? Now, there
My
are...
God.
There are objects in space
Christ.
strike the Earth all the time. Meteors and meteorites, etc. They fall in the atmosphere, or not, etc. It is a possibility, and I find this instructive, a possibility that as I'm delivering this closing argument, this courthouse could be struck by an object from space. I ask you...
What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? This court could be struck by an object from space.
I'd like him to be struck by an object from space.
I'm sure the jury's wishing they were right now.
Yeah. He's a boring motherfucker. Can you skip to the end of him? I hate him.
I'll skip a few minutes ahead and see.
Yeah.
Bill Nye, the boring prosecutor.
So he's established, very first name, Officer.
I mean, I hate all prosecutors, but I particularly hate this one.
Let's see what the defense has to say, because
Yeah.
it's just blah, 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 blah. More
Not
shitty
guilty by reason of object in space. Yep.
Yeah.
You're following the argument, are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, I heard a few of you chuckle during Mr. Alcorn's closing. And there's some funny facts in this case. They're somewhat funny. Phishing, Facebook account. But this case is very serious. The state has a heavy, heavy burden in this case.
I was just
It must
laughing
prove
at his
that my
PowerPoint.
client, Craig Endreson, guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
In this defense, the cop over here on the right chuckles it a couple times.
Out of every single element of every single charge that they've made against him. We submit to you that after all the evidence that you heard and what you didn't hear, that burden hasn't been met and it's not even close. I'm more of a fixed position guy, so I'm not going to bounce around too much. I'll stay up here. The state wants you to believe that Mr. Endreson knowingly transported and possessed drugs for sale, and he knowingly possessed drug paraphernalia, or he was an accomplice to doing that. We told you at the outset of this case, the defense's theory in this case is not that there were no drugs or paraphernalia found in his car. There were. We told you the state was going to show you the drugs and the paraphernalia, that they were going to put a chemist up here who was going to say, yep, we tested them, they're drugs. And they did that, just as we anticipated and told you they would do. But what the state hasn't done is they haven't proven that my client had any knowledge that those drugs or paraphernalia were in that car, or that he knowingly assisted Mr. Rogers in doing those things. You heard from Officer Butler. He told you he devised a fake Facebook account for the purpose of hooking Christopher Rogers. This is a person who Officer Butler testified he knew to be a drug dealer based on his prior experience as a tribal gaming inspector. He told you that over the course of a few weeks, he had corresponded with Rogers to set up this drug deal in Payson. Not with Mr. Endreson, but with Mr. Rogers. He also told you that after he conducted a traffic stop on my client's car for a broken windshield, he eventually searched the car, a search that the officer told you my client consented to. We told you at the outset, when I gave you my opening statement, that is not an insignificant point. Why would my client consent to the search of a car if he thought there was anything illegal in there? I'll tell you why. Because he didn't know. Certainly not the actions of someone who had something to hide. Officer Butler, he also told you that the drugs that were found in this pink pouch concealed in the passenger compartment behind the passenger seat. You heard my client state in a video, and the state just touched on it, that when he picked up Rogers to come to Payson, he remembered Rogers doing something in the back seat, but he couldn't see, and then he got in the car. If my client and Rogers were in cahoots together, why would Rogers conceal the pink pouch behind the passenger seat where my client couldn't see it? I'll tell you why. Because Rogers didn't want my client to know that there were drugs in there. Also, don't forget, it's Rogers who pled guilty. Did you hear from him? Nope, you didn't. Ask yourselves, why not? Why isn't Rogers here corroborating the state's version of these events? What would he have to lose? He's already pled guilty. We told you at the outset, this case is just as much about the things you don't hear as the things that you do. And I want to talk to you about some more of the things that you didn't hear. You heard from Officer Farron, that he's the officer with the big mustache. It's in one of the videos where he's talking to my client, and he tells him, we're going to get Mr. Rogers' phone, and if there's messages between the two of you about a drug deal, we're going to write a report. And your wife will know that you were up here in Payson to cheat on him. He didn't use those words. He says, your wife's going to know you were up here in Payson to get some strange, which is slang for having sex with someone who's not your partner.
That's what
Did
getting
the
some
state show you any
strange
of those texts? They did not. Now the state may say, well, that's because, Mr. Endreson.
I'm sorry?
That's the first time I've heard that explained. That's what getting some strange is.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Looking up.
I didn't know that.
He deleted his phone. No. Proof of those texts, if they existed, they'd have been on Mr. Rogers' phone, and I'm sure the state would have paraded them before you. Ask yourself why you weren't shown any such messages. They don't exist.
Good point.
Right, regarding my client resetting his phone, I'm going to get back to that one in just a minute. For now, I wanted you to ask yourself, did the state run any fingerprints on the pouch, the scales, the pipe, in the sunglasses case, any of the items that were retrieved on August the 29th? They didn't.
Wow.
They would have showed you that as well. I asked the chemist, did you do any fingerprint DNA? No.
Wow.
You would have
That's
seen
a good
those
point.
if they existed. Remember,
I mean, that's a valid point. No fingerprints, no testing on the drugs in the car. And they didn't even try.
Yeah, we hear this a lot in cases, though. I mean, like the defense is often, oh, but there's no DNA, there's no fingerprints, there's no nothing. But where else did it come from?
Oh, well, Mr. Rogers. That's the defense theory because Mr. Rogers was the one who they set up.
Yeah.
They catfished, and he's the one who had the drugs and went into
Okay.
the defendant's car. And the police
Okay.
were following Mr. Rogers and pulled this car over and started to investigate. They then found the drugs in the car and charged Mr. Rogers and him with transporting and a bunch of other dealing charges.
He's the one who pled.
Yes.
Okay, so there is a valid story
Yeah.
otherwise,
There is a
right? Okay.
chance that he did not know,
Okay.
in theory.
So
I mean,
there's reasonable doubt then.
yeah.
Fair.
the state has had possession of all of this evidence for over 4 years. This case was in 2021. It's not like they didn't have time to do it. What about DNA on the pouch, the pipe, any of the items? Negative. How can you be sure, beyond a reasonable doubt, that the pipe was my client's? It was in the center console, next to where Rogers was sitting, for an extended period of time. You heard one of the officers. I was babysitting him outside the car most of the time, and then I removed him from the car. What was he doing in there? Now, let's assume for the moment that you're able to overlook all the holes in the state's case and say to yourself, well, Mr. Endreson probably knew Mr. Rogers was up to something. The judge has instructed you on the concept of mere presence. Mere presence at the scene of a crime or knowing that a crime is being committed doesn't make you guilty. I submit to you the state hasn't even proven that he knew what was going on. I want to talk a little bit about this tampering of physical evidence. You have the
Kisha makes a good point. I bet they wanted him to take a plea. Oh yeah, I'm sure. And it's one of those situations where the defendant is very stubborn and pig-headed, understandably so, and they just will not take a plea. They want to fight it to the very bitter end. And then the prosecutor's pissed because they are fighting it and they get a chip on their shoulders. And, you know, even if they're not going to take a plea, then they're just going to stick with it no matter what. I mean, it's valid to fight this. I agree, but it's been 4 years, over 4 years. And he spent a lot of time in jail. When he could have taken a plea and it could have been over after a year or two. I mean, I get fighting it, but you know, at a certain point, I just want to move on with my life. But you know, I'm not the one on trial here, so I believe he did lose his wife she, I guess, found out he was trying to get strange. So,
Instruction in front of it. The state has to prove that Mr. Endreson concealed or removed physical evidence with the intent to impair its verity or availability. Verity is just a fancy word for its truthfulness, right? And that he intended that such physical evidence be unavailable in an official proceeding which the defendant knew was about to be instituted. They have to prove every one of those elements beyond a reasonable doubt. You'll have the video evidence when you retire to deliberate. Again, Officer Farron, my client, remember, my client has this phone the whole time of a encounter that lasted, according to one officer, at least an hour, but you can judge for yourself from the timestamps on these videos how long this lasted. It was a long time. He had that phone the whole time. State wants to say, oh, well, you know, he showed the officer a picture of his child. Take a look at that video. That's his screensaver. It's the whole screen, the picture of this child. Take a look at it. It was already out, but I digress. I want to get back to this tampering with physical evidence. At any point, my client could have reset that phone in the whole hour-long encounter. But Officer Farron tells him, we're going to get Mr. Rogers' phone, and we're going to write reports. Your wife's going to see you were up here getting some strange. You heard from Officer Butler. He told you he sent Rogers nudes of this Chelsea.
you see the cop here when he says that
Your wife's
on the
going
right.
to see you were up here getting some strange. You heard from Officer Butler.
Smart.
He told you he
Look at
sent
the
Rogers
prosecutor.
nudes of this Chelsea Pickford to lure him up here to Payson. My client's version of events has been clear from the very beginning. He was up here for a woman. He was married, told you at the outset, we don't condone it, but it isn't a crime. Ask yourself, do you think Rogers might have sent Mr. Endreson these nude pictures to get him to want to come up to Payson as well? Ask yourself, do you think my client might have wanted to delete those so his wife wouldn't see them? Remember, if there was anything criminal on that phone between Rogers and Mr. Endreson, that would have been on Mr. Rogers' phone too. Just because you delete your phone doesn't mean it deletes the people you've been communicating with. Were you shown anything? No, you weren't. I wasn't going to go into this, but I'm gonna. And this is about this second car. My client's story's been consistent from the very beginning. He came up with Mr. Rogers from Phoenix. You can shake your head, but it's true. Mr. Rogers came up from Phoenix. Or pardon me, Mr. Endreson came up
That's the
with
cop. You can shake your head. It's true. I'm going to go back because the cop is being a little punk.
I wasn't going to go into this, but I'm gonna. And this is about this second car.
Watch the cop.
My client's story's been consistent from the very beginning. He came up with Mr. Rogers from Phoenix. You can shake your head, but it's true. Mr. Rogers came up from Phoenix. Or pardon me, Mr. Endreson came up from Phoenix with Mr. Rogers for a woman. This whole concept of the second car came up when Officer Butler told him, hey, if you help us go look for this car, we'll let you go. We won't arrest you. Sure, let's go look for it. Was it ever found? The state wants you to believe, oh, Mr. Rogers came up here separately and Mr. Endreson met him at the Quality Inn. Where's the car? Where's the proof? This isn't that big of a town. You could find that car if it was at the Quality Inn, if it was at a casino, if it was at the Walmart, wherever. They didn't find any other car. I alluded to this at the outset in my questioning of the potential jurors in this case. I asked you if you were familiar with the concept of guilt by association. I did that because that's exactly what the state's case is built on. There's reasonable doubt all over the place in this case, and with respect to each and every element of the state's case. We believe it's not even close. And for this reason, we're asking you to return verdicts of not guilty on all of the counts against Mr. Endreson.
All right. Let's get forward to the verdict.
Yeah, let's go.
That's correct, Judge. She's down in the ballot.
Okay, so members of the jury, this is where we're going to break for the evening, okay? I'm going to remind, before last trial, it was right at the beginning of when I admonished the jury like I've been admonishing those of you on the job.
Oh, wait, that was day one. There we go. Right tab. Sorry, guys.
I'll write this in right now. Okay. And jurors, go ahead and have a seat as you get there to your seats. And
Oh, God damn it.
counsel, please be seated. I think that's 2, 4, 6, 7. Yes, okay. We'll go back on the record in State versus Endreson, CR 2023 2021 293. I'll note the presence of counsel and our jurors, and along with Mr. Endreson. Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have.
Okay, can you hand the verdict forms to the bailiff, please? Thank you, sir. I'll ask that the clerk read and record the verdicts. And Madam Clerk, yes, if the bottom inquiry is not necessary, you don't have to read it.
Okay.
If it's not necessary, I don't.
Arizona Superior Court, Gila County, State of Arizona Plaintiff versus Craig Stephen Endreson Defendant. Case number CR 2021-00293. Verdict, count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above title action with regard to transportation of a dangerous drug for sale committed on or about August 29, 2021, upon our oath, do find the defendant, Craig Stephen Endreson, not guilty.
Yay!
Arizona Superior Court, Gila County, State of Arizona Plaintiff versus Craig Stephen Endreson Defendant. Case number CR 2021-00293. Verdict, count 2. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action with regard to possession of dangerous drug for sale committed on or about August 29, 2021, upon our oaths, do find the defendant, Craig Stephen Endreson, not guilty.
What? Really?
Arizona Superior Court, State of Arizona Plaintiff versus Craig Stephen Endreson, case number CR 2021-00293. Verdict, count 3. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action with regard to possession of a narcotic drug for sale committed on or about August 29, 2021, upon our oaths, do find the defendant, Craig Stephen Endreson, not guilty.
Wow.
Arizona Superior Court, Gila
more.
County, State of Arizona Plaintiff versus Craig Stephen Endreson Defendant, case number CR 2021-00293. Verdict, count 4. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action with regard to transportation of a narcotic drug for sale committed on or about August 29, 2021, upon our oaths, do find defendant Craig Stephen Endreson not guilty.
Wow.
Arizona Superior Court, Gila County, State of Arizona Plaintiff versus Craig Stephen Endreson Defendant, case number CR 2021-00293. Verdict, count 5. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action with regard to tampering with physical evidence committed on or about August 29, 2021, upon our oaths, do find the defendant, Craig Stephen Endreson, guilty.
Yeah.
What?
Arizona Superior Court, Gila County,
He was
State of
guilty on that
Arizona
one.
Plaintiff versus Craig Stephen Endreson Defendant, case number CR 2021-00293. Verdict, count 6. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action with regard to possession of drug paraphernalia committed on or about August 29, 2021, upon our oaths, do find defendant Craig Stephen Endreson not guilty.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Al.
So 5 not guilties, but he did wipe his phone when he was kind of in custody. I mean, it's BS because he was not guilty on everything else. but that's still a pretty low, very low charge.
He should
So,
get out.
oh yeah. But I mean, the rest of it he was acquitted on. Oh yeah. I mean, especially with time served, I don't see him spending much more time in. I thought he was going to be found guilty on all of it, so I did not know the verdict. I
Wow.
purposefully did not watch at least over a year because he was out of custody for a while, but then he got back in custody. So
You wipe your phone. It's your phone.
yeah, but he was doing it to conceal evidence that the police were
Mm,
investigating,
I
uh,
guess.
and he was detained at that time.
I guess.
Yeah, he's in custody right now, or during the trial. So,
Mm.
and he was pro se for a while too. Um,
So does he have to like sit and wait for a sentencing date now?
yeah, I think so.
So it
Although
might
it
be
won't
like
be
another month in jail
they might
waiting
let him
for a
out.
fucking sentencing date.
They'll probably let him out.
I doubt it.
There was one part that I skipped where the prosecutor was being a dick. So he was pro se for a while and had trouble finding a lawyer. Well, the prosecutor wanted to use his pleadings that he wrote, his motions that he wrote against him
Mm.
if he testified.
That's not right because that's him being a lawyer.
Right?
Yeah.
And the judge was kind of like, yeah, it made the judge really uncomfortable because case law was not really well defined, and that is just ripe for being overturned.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Alcorn, would you like the jury polled?
No, Your Honor.
Mr.
Awesome.
McCarty, would you like the jury polled?
No.
Okay. Members of the jury, I'm going to excuse you in just a moment from your service. The admonition has been lifted. You may discuss this or not discuss this with anyone you choose. I appreciate you taking the last 3 days to serve on your jury duty. We read every one of those, so if you have, and then I'll come back to the, if you put your, if you, so thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. McCarty, I'm looking at setting sentencing on this matter November 24th in Globe at 2:15. Would that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Alcorn, any issue with that date and time?
I don't think so, Judge.
So, Madam Clerk, I'll set the matter that we're here for trial for sentencing November 24th at 2:15 on my Globe calendar. I'll order that the defendant be personally present for that hearing. I'll order that a pre-sentence report be prepared as well.
Oh, no, beautiful waterfall. My mother had jury duty recently. She got 40 buckaroos. So, I mean, 40 whole dollars for jury duty. She was, happy.
And just let me just, Mr. Alcorn, as far as you're asking the court, you had mentioned an exhibit you wish the court to look at as far as possible priors.
Yes, Judge, it was 59.
Okay. Mr. McCarty, do you have any objection to 59 being admitted?
I don't have it up in front of me, but
Can you push your microphone so it's on red?
Yes, sorry, Judge. I don't have my case lines up in front of me. If it's the sentencing order, what is it?
It's a packet, so it's like the agreement and the information.
No objection.
Okay, and that's 59, 58?
59.
59 will be admitted.
I believe 58 is redacted form of just the judgment, so.
I'll just do 59 since it's, and then Mr. Alcorn, if in fact I find that is a prior, then he's still a category 1. It just makes it mandatory prison instead of probation eligible. Is that the state's position?
That's correct.
Okay. Counsel, I'm inclined just to defer making that ruling to date of sentencing.
unless there's any objections. I did take a quick look at it in advance. It appears that the signature is similar, not a handwriting expert, but it seems similar to the warning that he signed in this case. The date of birth and name is the same, so I'm inclined to find that that is him. But do you have any objection, Mr. McCarty, if I defer that ruling?
I do not.
Okay, so Madam Clerk, if you could note, the court will need to make a determination whether the defendant does have a non-historical prior as of the date of sentencing. And then as far as the other matter goes, if I set that for a trial setting on the same date, and then I don't know if there's, with this information, if there's any possibility that the parties might negotiate that. Mr. Alcorn, would that work for the state?
Oh, I'm sure I'll be making an offer to Mr. McCarty to consider with his client.
Okay.
So Judge, you're wanting to set a trial date in 3 weeks?
No, what I'm saying is I would set, so not set that as a trial, sentencing for one and trial setting on the other.
Trial setting, I'm sorry,
Yes.
I thought you said a trial.
No, not a trial. Trial setting. That way, if there is an agreement, I don't know if there will be. This was a class 6 that he was convicted of today. I don't recall how much time he's done between the various times, but I suspect it's at least a substantial amount. And so the presumptive, which is 1, is going to be the maximum in the case. So I don't know how that'll fare. Do you have any objection if I just set that as trial setting?
I do not.
Okay. So that's CR 2025-276. I'll set that for a trial setting conference at the same date and time. Okay. So Mr. Endreson, I'll see you at that time. I suspect that the probation staff may reach out to you in reference to the pre-sentence report. If they do, they probably will give you a packet to start with. If you have questions, you can reach out to Mr. McCarty. If you'd like to have Mr. McCarty present when they interview you, if they want to interview you, you can make arrangements for that, but talk to Mr. McCarty about that. Okay, thank you, detention staff, for having Mr. Endreson here with us the last 3 days. I'll also order that any exhibits that were not offered, admitted.
Wow.
So what, has he got some other thing coming up?
The sentencing.
No. Has he got another charge? He must. So what they're talking about.
There was another charge, but I thought that was dismissed.
Mustn't be. Because they're talking about something else.
I believe that was the trial setting for the sentencing.
No. Because they're talking about another matter. I don't know. I mean, in Australia, we refer to matters as being a whole other charge.
Yeah.
So if you like that, I have another matter coming up, that's a whole other charge. Like,
I see.
So,
I mean,
you didn't hear matter? I did.
As far as this, it's a sixth degree felony, which is up to a year in prison. And I'm sure the state was going to offer a deal. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to reach out.
Trial setting for something else. I mean, you would think in any sane world that if he's only been found guilty of tampering with evidence, that they'd be talking about letting him out right now. But yeah, the only thing I could think of is if there's another matter being another charge, that's why they're talking about a trial setting.
I did know he missed court one day. That may have been why he was picked up and put back in custody.
Mm. Can you look into it for us, Dolly?
I will.
We're worried about our boy now.
I know. Let me see. Because he's not in prison yet, which is... Can't find him, and he's not in prison. He's in jail, so I don't know if I can. Oh, I can do Arizona court records. I'll try that. Sorry, guys, just give me 1 second. 9 courts. So he's got it mentions the, oh, I guess I can share this. So far, boy, there's 3 cases in Gila County. The first one was this. That was filed in September of 2021. 6 charges. But then they have it again, same 6 charges. Filing date was 7/11/2023. So I think these 2 are the same, though. Oh, that was the grand jury indictment. Okay, so it's the same event. The other charge, though, it looks like, is failure to appear first degree. 2 counts of that. This was filed in June of 2025. And yeah, this is active. So the most recent was this or last month for a status hearing. So I'm guessing that what the other matter they're talking about is the failure to appear. That it's a bond violation.
Okay. Yeah.
No, he was out on bail when he was scheduled for a court appearance. And it sounds like it's the prosecutor being really freaking petty.
Mm.
So he's got up to 1 year in prison on the tampering with physical evidence and then the failure to appear, first degree.
Well, prosecutors are never petty.
No, I'm sure he won't be
No.
petty now. But I'll keep my eye on this, and I'll keep my eye out for the sentencing as well, because that'll be interesting.
Yeah. That's disappointing.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd get out sooner, but
Yeah.
I mean, at least 5 out of 6 charges is pretty good.
It is. But yeah, silly boy should have turned up to court.
Yeah. Does he have prior convictions? Yeah.
One, isn't it?
Sounded like it out of Maricopa. Unknown. Scottsdale City Court. Ooh, Scottsdale. Driving with license suspended or revoked. And let's see. Yeah, just some small petty stuff. Nothing major. So do you have anything coming up, Hella?
I do, but it's a surprise.
Okay, so you're not ready to announce yet.
No, but I'll tell you all that it's big.
Yes. Very big.
It's very big.
Right, Babu?
But you're gonna have to wait.
So I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Courtroom Roulette. And then everyone keep an eye out for Hella and her stream that may be coming pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully this weekend. We'll see. But yeah, I'm working on it today.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone for hanging out. This has been a lot of fun, and I shall see you guys tomorrow.
It won't be
Bye,
tomorrow,
everyone.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Probably the weekend, yep. But it's big.
Yes. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
See ya.
CH.
Stop it. See.